Good evening and welcome to St. Joseph, Missouri, home of Phil Welch Stadium, home of your St. Joseph Mustangs. Mustangs are your 2024 MINK League champions!
Good evening and welcome inside Phil Welch Stadium in St. Joseph, Missouri for the divisional round matchup of the 2025 MINK League playoffs between your number 1 seeded St. Joseph Mustangs and the number 6 seeded Nevada Griffons. The Mustangs sit 1 win away from a trip back to the MINK League Championship Series and a chance at their 10th MINK League title after they accomplished winning the regular season, getting the first round bye here to the semifinal round. But the Nevada Griffons come in here tonight with upset on their mind. They upset the number 3 seeded Chillicothe Mudcats last night, 4-1 in Chillicothe, and they're looking to do the same thing here tonight. One team looking to return to glory. The other upset on their mind. As I am Truman Griesel, folks. Welcome inside here, Phil Welch Stadium. Jackson Phelps alongside with me tonight. And Jackson, I mean, on paper, again, this seems like such a David versus Goliath matchup. But for the Mustangs, they've done just about everything. They won the regular season. They had the top offense, the top pitching staff. Now that all that separates them from the top of the mountain is 3 wins.
3 wins is the magic number here in the playoffs. This Nevada Griffons team, it is a David Goliath situation on the paper, but this is no team to sleep on in my eyes. They went into Chillicothe. The last team to make it into the playoffs, the Griffins, went to number 3 seeded Chillicothe and won a deciding 4-1 victory. A nice job pitching and hitting. And then also they faced the Mustangs in a doubleheader last Wednesday. They won one of those two 8-6, but the Mustangs, like you said, they've been dominant all season long. The pitching's been on point. The hitting's been on point. Base running's been on point. Just the small, meticulous things I felt like over the last 2 homestand games last week with me and you. We saw they worked on a lot of things, and I think they are bringing the best lineup possible tonight into the playoffs to try and get that first victory into play in another MINK League championship.
They say when the calendar turns to July, it separates the boys from the men, and when playoffs roll around, we see just how much hair is on those men's chest. Playoff action from Phil Welch coming up next, as we'll have National Anthem starting lineups here on YouTube. It's the young gun, Ashton Nance, who gets handed the ball in a win-or-go-home game here for the Mustangs, making his 4th start. He's 3-0 this year, and he has been very good. Last time out, he pitched 6 scoreless innings, struck out 4, walked 4 against the Kansas City Monarchs, and has only yielded 4 runs in 17 1/3 innings as a starter.
He really is one to special to watch. I mean, the young frame as he is, the tall frame that he has, he strikes out a lot of batters, and he keeps runs off those boards, and that's exactly who you want to start the playoffs.
Getting started for Nevada tonight will be Trey Burton. Now's the first pitch back. As we get a look at the Nevada lineup, only 13 motley crew man that third base dugout, but this was a 13-man roster that got it done last night. 4 runs on 4 hits and capitalized off 3 Chillicothe errors en route to the 4-1 victory. As Nance quickly has Burton down 0-2.
And it really was that pitching from Nevada yesterday that did the job, and so that's one thing that the Mustangs are going to have to attack early on.
Burton stays alive, just hitting .202, playing in his 34th game, most on the team. He also leads this team with 20 hits. Nance has the strikeout stuff, but we've seen him pitch to soft contact a lot. Fastball just misses off the plate for a ball. One-two, didn't get Burton to chase. And they're gonna say he did go. They checked with the first base umpire, so Philippe's gonna throw it down to George. And out number one is on a strikeout.
Beautiful pitch by Nance. It was just off the plate just enough that it had Burton guessing. I think it just, the hands kept going along with those shoulders. He couldn't stop himself. Great start. Loved what I saw from Nance. The sequence was great. Stuck to that outside half of the plate. Especially, I think this is what he's going to want to do on those right-handed batters here with Nevada tonight.
It's now to be Jordan Rowe after the strikeout by Burton. Rowe hitting right at that Mendoza line, 200. Just one of three guys in this lineup, these top three hitters for Nevada, only hitting 200 or above. Everyone else below that line. That one line to right, but over is Frank Gall to make the grab, and it's two quick outs for Nance.
Love that pitch from Nance. Kept it up and tight. Not a good amount of space for Rowe to be able to get the bat around. He did get contact, but since that was so high and up, all he had to do was just drive it out. And Gall, the speed tonight, especially the outfield tonight, it's going to be tough to find those gaps tonight in the outfield.
Quickly two away for the Griffins, brings up Nick Kalin. The best hitter on this lineup, 278. Just his 13th game. Off the end of the bat, dribbled up the first base line. Will it stay fair? It will. And it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Ashton Nance. Tallies one strikeout in the inning. Nevada no runs on no hits. Headed to the bottom of the first in this Mustangs lineup. Coming up to the plate. Kenny Jennings making his first appearance this summer against the Mustangs. 11th overall, most on the team. Will look to replicate the exceptional pitching performance last night by the combination of Landon Fletcher, Evan Helton, and then Jennings was tasked with getting that final out. But a 2.84 ERA in 19 innings. Opponents just hitting 208. And Jackson, he's mainly a closer, but he's going to look to get a bulk of the innings. And when playoffs come around, it's not about, oh, you just pitched one inning there, one inning there. They're going to ride you as long as a team can.
They really are. They're going to want to look for at least 4, maybe 5 innings out of Jennings tonight. But being that closer, that's going to be tough. Stamina's not going to be there, and this is where the Mustangs can go after him early on and attack him, work up those pitches, get him flustered early on, because right now with how many people they brung, there's no one in the bullpen. They're really going to have to pick a guys apart out of the field. It's going to look like a high school game. They're going to be picking there. So we're going to see how long they go with Jennings, and they're hoping that they can get a good bulk from him.
And the question for the Mustangs after last weekend was who would be the 9 guys that Johnny Coy would write in that lineup come playoff time. And it's a scary one. Top lineup in the MINK League. Frank Gall has been on fire since his return to the lineup from injury. And Darius Freeman, Braden Luke Hart, and Dom Felix, those top four, so scary, and you really can't sleep on any of them, Jackson.
You really can't. They're so hard to face at the plate. If it's not them getting hits, it's them getting on base. I think that's what's the most scary about this Mustangs team. Having Frank Gall back in the leadoff spot, had a home run last Saturday. He's really found his stuff after being injured and what he found back at college. But, yeah, this whole lineup, I feel like Johnny Coy's done a good job of picking those guys that have really shown out and showed up this year.
His last time out for Jennings on the mound. Like we said, last night he got a third of an inning, but his last bulk outing was back on July 13th. 2 2/3 scoreless innings, just yielded 2 hits and a walk, and struck out 3 against the Clarinda A's in an 11-10 loss.
There you go. You see that 2 2/3 right here with 2 2/3 on the Mustangs. You're going to want, yeah, like I said, 4 innings is what I'd say is going to be your cuff line for Jennings tonight before you have to start going through the lineup to pitch. So we'll see what he can do here tonight.
And it is Frank Gall to get the Mustangs started, and he started off with a fastball outside. Gall now appearing in his 9th game. He came back from injury red hot. So he grounds one off of Burton at first, but he's able to field it and just tag Gall out. So it's a quick 1 out from Jennings.
You know, I like the aggressiveness from Gall. We saw that last Saturday. He went after the first couple of pitches, ended up getting tagged out at second. But here I liked it. He drove it down the line. Looks what Freeman had last Saturday as well, but it just clipped the glove of Burton and an easy tag for out number 1.
Now Darius Freeman, he was awarded with back-to-back Mustangs player MVPs last Saturday and is in the running for MINK League Player of the Year. 3rd in batting average at .381. He's also second in home runs with 4. This is the right scenario if you're Jennings that you want to face Freeman. Already an out recorded in the inning and nobody on base.
Cannot let those Mustangs stack them.
Falls behind Freeman 2-0. Freeman this season 8 for 15 in 4 games against the Griffins. Comes in riding a 4-game hit streak. Playing in his 33rd game. Leads this team in hits with 45 and is tied for the team lead in doubles with 11. Takes a fastball in the inside corner, and Jennings has battled back now 2-2.
I like the confidence from Jennings facing Freeman here. I know it's a tough situation getting down 2-0, but he's done a good job working himself back.
2-2's upstairs, now full count. Freeman also leads the Mustangs with 20 stolen bases and is 3rd in the MINK in that category. But he swings and misses. And Kenny Jennings answering Ashton Nance with 2 quick outs and getting his first strikeout.
Oh, man, what some didn't expect from Jennings here in the first half for the Mustangs. Getting the 2 first batters out. Had him going over the top on Gall, and then the strikeout on Freeman after going up 2-0. Impressive stuff from Jennings, but it looks like it's up to the third hole man to try and get it going for the Stangs.
That third hole man is Braden Lukehart. His first pitch pops it up on the infield, over his creek towards third base, and he makes the grab, and Kenny Jennings answers. Ashton Nance with a quick 1-2-3 inning, no runs, no hits, nobody left on for the Mustangs. We're through 1 here in the MINK League semifinals, 0-0. Through one turn at the rack for both teams. Both teams go 1, 2, 3. Ashton Nance now gets the middle of this Griffin order, beginning with Bryce Humphrey. Humphrey was 0 for 4 with a run, an RBI, and a walk in last night's opening round playoff win. Humphrey out of Oakland City University. He's quickly ahead 2-0 on Nance. Hitting just 186 in his 16th game, just 8 hits and 43 at-bats. Now he's way ahead 3-0.
And it's like what we were talking about, Truman, before the broadcast. We were saying those first 3 guys were the main guys here in the lineup to go towards. But here in the bottom middle half, it's going to be 50-50s with who's going to come up for these Griffins.
Nance responds with a strike. Big rip by Humphreys, fouls it back. Count now goes full. Humphreys has scored 5 runs in his last 4 games. It's only 2 multi-hit games. The payoff pitch from Nance. Broken bat, look out. Blooped into center, out goes Coy. In comes Lucart to make the sliding grab. Able to avoid the shrapnel to retire Humphrey to begin the second.
Watch out, that thing was sharped. Off the bat, it took itself with it over to the third shortstop side, but an amazing job by Lucart. Got all the speed in the world to cover that grass over to the ball. He had Coy, that triangle over there with McCollum, Coy, but Lucart had the best line on it, and a heck of a catch and a slide. Loved what we've saw all season long from Mr. Lucart in center.
Yet another highlight reel grab for a Mustangs outfielder. Shadrach Salazar's swinging and missing at the first pitch. Salazar still searching for his first hit this season against the Mustangs. 0 for 11 in 5 games. He was 0 for 3 last night with a walk in the win. Tomahawk chop foul. Down on the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Saw a good pitch up. Just got ahead too early. Got the hands around. I mean, that swing looked beautiful. And now Nance, another 2-strike count.
1-2 from Nance. Again fouled off by Salazar. Just able to make contact. Salazar, Arizona Christian University. Originally from Webb City, Missouri. It's another 1-2. Doesn't offer at the breaking ball. Count evens at 2 apiece. Two-two. This time he does chase the slider away. And Nance's second strikeout is Shadrach Salazar.
You could tell that he was sitting fastball again, the way he was so out front by the slider. He didn't really even realize it was a slider until he got the bat across. It was so nasty out of the hands of Nance. So hard to see coming from that right-handed batter spot. That's your left eye right there. That's tough to see coming down. So a nice sequence, and again from Nance. K number 2.
K number 2 and strikeout number 17 of the season. It's now Trenton Creek with 2 outs. Creek also searching for his first hit, 0 for 11, but he does have 3 walks in 5 games played here versus St. Joe. Lofts one to center, Lucart to his right, won't have to lay out this time, and he makes another grab. It's a quick 6 up, 6 down for Ashton Nance. Looking to see if the Mustangs bats will get started. It's through an inning and a half. Nevada 0, St. Joe 0. Mustangs went 1-2-3 in the first, but we'll look to get the offense going here with the middle of the lineup against Kenny Jennings and the Nevada Griffons, who are actually playing good baseball as of late. They've won 3 of their last 4 after dropping 16 of 17. 5-14 on the road. They are 1-9 in 10 road games in July, but that one win, Jackson, again, was last night against Chillicothe.
It sure was. I mean, they're blooming at the bright time. It was just enough to get them that last spot here in the playoffs, and they're showing teams why they deserve it with that win last night in Chillicothe.
Dom Felix at the Mustangs start, and he'll line one into the gap, and it will fall. First hit of the night for the Mustangs is a leadoff single in the second by Dom Felix.
Beautiful swing, solid pitch, right in the zone, right in his wheelhouse. He got a little bit behind on it, but that was just enough to split that gap into the center field, right field spot. Beautiful swing, great technique by Mr. Dom Felix. Getting that hit, he's been needing a couple of those here the last couple of times he's played, so love seeing him getting another hit.
His 34th hit of the summer. Now brings up Jack Mosh. Mosh from Minnesota. Takes strike one from Jennings. Mosh comes in playing in his 32nd game. 38 hits, a .369 batting average, good for 4th best in the MINK. But just 1 for 9 against the Griffins. He pops one up, shallow left, in comes Salazar, and he'll make the grab.
That's one that Mosh will want back. Probably just want to give that one a look. It was on the inside half. He was behind on it. Jammed him. A great pitch from Jennings to get that out he was needing to start it off. But right there, a base runner on for the Mustangs is all they need. That's what they've shown this season. So hopefully they can get something going with Felix on first.
Now the young gun, Chris Coy. You have to wonder, Jackson, we talked about how much the Sun can battle the defenders, but you wonder if the Sun is maybe having some trouble with the hitters tonight, not picking up pitches out of the hand.
It definitely can. I mean, that white orb can definitely, out of those hands, you can't really tell. When it gets dark time, there's no batter's eye, but just that black, dark skyline with the trees can help with seeing it. But yeah, definitely in that sun. It's a blistering one here at Phil Welch.
Coy, a .276 hitter. 29 hits and 105 at-bats. Quickly behind 0-2, though. Coy struggling a little bit as of late, just 7 for his last 35 in his last 10 games. But during that stretch, he's driven in 7 runs, scored 6, and has walked 9 times. So he's found ways to be productive even though the hits haven't been there. Doesn't chase the breaking ball off the plate.
And that's the kind of ball player you want, especially at his age. Just any way that you can, just be productive to the team. He does it on his defense as well. We've talked about it many times up here in the booth about how he has just contributed so much to this defensive Mustangs roster.
Locked down the starting shortstop role, and he lines one to left. In comes Salazar, won't make the grab. And Chris Coy with a one-out single now moves Dom Felix into scoring position.
Just timed it up perfectly. Fastball out of the hands, knew it right away, got around on it. Just a beautiful drive. Just less of enough of a powerful hit there from Coy to make sure Salazar didn't have a line on it. But a good job by Coy. Got a hit. Love seeing those two guys, Felix and Coy, getting hits here to start off the playoffs. You love to see those guys get confident.
Salazar gave it a look. That ball died quickly as it was a mistake on 1-2 from Jennings. Now in the first RBI opportunity of the night, it's Justin George. Breaking ball off the plate, ball 1. George hitting exactly at 250. Game number 29. Another guy, just 3 for his last 23 in his last 7 games. Looking to break through big time in the biggest of spots here in the playoffs. George has 24 hits and 96 at-bats. 8 of those hits are doubles, which is tied for second with Jack Mosh on the team. Has yet to clobber a homer, but still has driven in 16 runs. One's line to center, but right at Humphrey. Felix will tag, but hold up. As George hit it hard, but right at Bryce Humphrey for out number 2.
It was a line drive right to Humphrey, and unfortunately enough, that will keep Felix on second. He didn't want to test Humphrey's arm. Felix, not the fastest guy in the world, but he definitely can motor if he needs to. Just there, he probably wasn't going to get the best look with it being that shallow in center field. But let's get some two-out magic here in the bottom half.
The Easton Philippi doing the catching duties tonight with 2 outs and 2 men on. A couple of singles in the inning from Dom Felix and Chris Coy. First pitch grounded up the middle. Creek has it. He'll go the short way to second to retire the side, and Kenny Jennings pitches around a couple of singles, strands a pair. As we're headed to the third here at Phil Welch, still 0-0. Get a look here at the top of the third at how the Mustangs line up defensively in the outfield. Trevor McCollum, Braden Lucart out in center. We've already seen make a couple of nice grabs, and Frank Gall in right. And then the infield, Dom Felix manning the hot corner for what seems like the 1,000th time. Same as Chris Coy and Jack Maj up the middle, and Justin George over at first base. And the battery mates, 2 high schoolers, Easton Philippi and Ashton Nance.
2 high schoolers that played in the Classic State Championship game against each other. I know Nance has a little bit of a, a little bit of an edge to Philippi in that remark, but we talked about the outfield. We need to talk about this middle infield. I mean, they've shown themselves why they're the best in the MINK. You got Felix, who handles those hard hit balls so well, and then we can talk about Coy and Mosh for days with how they handle it. All that stuff in the middle infield.
7, 8, 9 for the Griffins. They've gone 6 up, 6 down with a couple of strikeouts against Ashton Nance. The designated hitter, Rhett Hayes. Hayes did not play last night in Chillicothe. Hitting 179, just 12 hits in 67 at-bats. Cloud has covered Phil Welch here. Sun hopefully shouldn't be an issue. Stance misses upstairs, now 3-1.
All right, now the Griffins are just looking for anything, just to get something going. You just need that first base runner on the day to maybe, get rid of those nerves. Because playing here at Phil Welch in the playoff environment, it's definitely tough to sit in.
Fouls it straight back. Yeah, I mean, you talk about that playoff environment, people say, oh, there's no difference between, this game or, say, when they played last Wednesday in Nevada. But, I mean, there is a difference. Even though it's not, it's just a spoken difference. But you can feel just the atmosphere change when it comes playoff time. As Hayes grounds one up the middle. Mosh to his right, running away from first base. Throws across his body to retire the Griffins' designated hitter.
And there we go. Middle infield, and there you go. You get a little bit of a look at what Mosh can do. He fields those to the glove side all the time. And then he has to go across that body. He does it so fluently. One of my favorites to watch. Just playing that second base position. Makes those tough throws look easy and gets that first out.
You knew he didn't have time to set his feet. But he's such an experienced infielder. So now it's Xander Miller. Lines one to center. Lucart came in at first, but then goes back to make the grab. And it's a quick 2 outs here in the third.
His first step was forward, but he realized that so quick. He didn't take another step forward. He kind of took forward, sat on the front of his feet, but then made himself back. That's another experienced outfielder who knows? Hey, I made a mistake going front, but I can quickly adjust. And Lucart's one of the best out there. 2 quick outs from Nance. Loved what I'm seeing from him as well.
It's almost like that secondary reaction. You know, the initial reaction maybe wasn't the correct one, but then he's able to retool and re-react. So now it's the 9-hole. Cal Cousins. Thought about laying down a bunt, instead pulls it back. Cousins hitting .092, 6 for 65 as he enters game number 27 and start number 22 in his Griffin campaign in 2025. He was another guy that did not play last night, but he gets the opportunity tonight. As he reaches out, grounds one to Coy. Fundamental as ever, and it's 9 up, 9 down for Ashton Nance. Every Griffin has had a turn in the batting order, and no one has had any success against Ashton Nance. Quick 3 innings, head to the bottom of the 3rd. Mustangs are looking to put the first run up on the board. Griffins have still yet to find a base runner here through their first 3 trips to the plate. Meanwhile, the Mustangs scattered a couple singles in the 2nd, but are still looking to crack through against Kenny Jennings.
Hey, he's been doing his job. 2 hits last inning. I think they found his stuff on the fastball. Now it's time to sit back on this bottom half with McCollum. It's time to see what you can really manage to do. Stack those base runners up. But Truman, we're already in the bottom of the 3rd. The game's been flying by. I feel like it's time to sit back on an inning and let the Mustangs go to work with those bats.
The 9-hole inning, Trevor McCollum gets the Mustangs started in their 3rd. It'll be 9-1-2. McCollum, Gall, and Freeman. Breaking ball taken for a strike. McCollum 3 for 10 in 4 games played against the Griffins. 6 runs scored and is driven in 4. But just 3 for his last 21 in his last 6 games. 1-1 line into left field. And a leadoff single here in the 3rd. 3rd hit of the night for the Mustangs comes by Trevor McCollum.
And it's just so important in the game of baseball to get that leadoff runner on. And a great start here. Another, just a difference. Just getting that leadoff guy on, and you're back to the top of the order with guys who know how to hit with people on. So McCollum's got some speed. Looking to see if they can maybe advance him over, get some RBI chances here in the home half of the 3rd.
12 stolen bases for McCollum. It's Frank Gall. Grounded out his 1st round against Jennings. Mustangs, already 2+ innings into this game, have more hits than Chillicothe tallied in a full 9 innings last night against this Nevada pitching staff. But no runs to show for it. Big hack by Gall, but fouls it back. He's only played in 2 games versus Nevada. He's 2 for 8, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and 2 walks. Comes in riding an 8-game hitting streak. Ground to the left side, cut off by Miller. He'll go to second for one, over to first. Not going to be in time, not going to be able to turn two on the speedy Gall, but the Griffins are able to cut down the leadoff runner in McCollum.
That's a tough play to make that 5-4 turn for the double play, especially with the speed that the Mustangs endure on the base paths. Now, McCollum didn't get the best jump over to second base, but it looked like Cal Cousins was kind of sitting back on his back feet, didn't go over to the bag on time, so that allowed Gall to get that extra couple steps and make it to first.
Miller was playing in at the hot corner, and it was sharply hit, so he had to wait, like you said, Jackson, for Cousins to get over to the bag. I'd have had a chance had Cousins been closer. Now Darius Freeman pops it up, slams his bat. Humphrey over, makes the grab, and after the leadoff single, back-to-back outs. Now have the Mustangs with 2 outs and still a runner at first.
I've been really impressed with Jennings. I mean, after giving up that hit last inning, he gave up the extra hit, but he's found outs in between, and that's exactly what you want from your starter, to just get those outs amidst the hits. So 3 hits already for the Mustangs, but nothing to show for it. 2 quick outs right after that leadoff hit. And it's just go time. Let's get a 2-out rally going.
3 singles, but nothing back-to-back. Between Felix's and Coy's singles in the second, there was a fly out. Mustangs have yet to be able to stack anything as it's Braden Lukehart. Popped up to Trenton Creek to end the first. Gall on first, 3 for 4 in his stolen base attempts this summer. Nice pitch of the knees for strike one. Jennings has kept these Mustangs hitters on their toes, mixing fastball and breaking ball. And another one popped up, basically the same exact play, except it's Miller just on the infield grass, and Kenny Jennings is seeing Ashton Nance and matching him. 3 innings, 3 shutout innings for both pitchers. We're already cruising through this game, a third of the way through. Still, no runs on the board. Headed to the 4th here in St. Joe. Nothing. Scorcher tonight here at Phil Welch. 89 degrees, as you'd think maybe with the second to last week of July upon us, might the temperatures be going back down a little bit, but no, one of the hottest weeks of the summer, 89. And so far, both offenses have been cold, but the pitching staffs are red hot. Nevada still looking for their first base runner. Meanwhile, the Mustangs have scattered 3 singles, Jackson.
9 up, 9 down for Nance. I mean, that's exactly what you want. Start the playoffs hot, and Nance has found himself his footing, and I think it's going to be tough for the Griffins to come back. He's starting to find his prime right here in the middle half of the game. It's going to be tough to come back, but you just need that base runner on for either of these squads. I mean, the Mustangs have seen it 3 times, but you just got to lock in. You got to get some stolen bases. Get ready to get going. It's the playoffs. You're here to play. Why not take the extra base? Why not take the extra step? You know, why not?
Big swing and a breaking ball from Trey Burton to start the Griffin 4th. Burton out of Lemoyne Owen College. Struck out his first time around against Nance. It's the first time since July 9th that he had struck out in a game. So he had gone 8 games without striking out. But Nance able to get him the first time around, chasing a breaking ball. Now off the hands, grounded right to Justin George. He'll go to a knee. But Trey Burton is retired for the second time.
Beautiful pitch from Nance. He was behind on Burton there, put one on the inside. That was just a tough swing from Burton to get something off on, and George was at the right place at the right time. That's his second unassisted, so he's manning his island over there pretty dang well here to start his game.
Now Jordan Rowe, guy who's hit the ball the hardest. Lined one to Frank Gall in the first. 0 for 1. Currently rides a 3-game hit streak. Singular hit in his last 3 opportunities. He's at an Nance 2-0. Nance has fallen behind some of these Griffin hitters, but he's been able to work back and has really shown some maturity out on the mound. And there will be the Griffins' first base run of the night. Fastball ran too far inside, and Jordan Rowe reaches on a hit by pitch.
It looks like that at bat, Nance was just lost within himself. Went down 2-0. He went to the rosin bag to kind of recollect those thoughts, but after that, he wanted to get that fastball in the inside half, trying to freeze Rowe there, and it just did not work in his favor. Ran 2 inside off the hands, and that's something that you want to look at. Double plays in order, but hopefully that's not something that comes back to bite. Ashton Nance has been pitching the lights out.
A little bit of an announcer's jinx on that one, I might have to say. And I mean, with this heat, a lot of these players are going to be sweating truckloads, and I know Nance wants to keep that hand dry. That way he's able to grip the ball better. Nick Kalen lines one left center field, but it'll hang up just enough, and Braden Lucart will make a running grab.
Lucart's manning that island really well. Another great catch from him. He was more on that right side of center field, but it's no problem with his speed making it over. And so a good, big out from Nance to make it 2 and a little bit easier with a runner on.
Now with 2 outs and still that runner at first, it'll be Bryce Humphrey. Humphrey flew out to Lucart. His first battle against Nance in the second. Humphrey 2 for 16 with 3 RBIs in 4 games. Played against the Mustangs. Takes strike 1 at the knees. Mustangs have taken 5 of the 6 regular season matchups, but Nevada did win the last one, 8-6 in a doubleheader last Wednesday. Nevada's been outscored 53-17 by this Mustangs team. Those 8 runs in that win were the most they'd scored by a long shot in the 6 matchups, as Humphrey now takes a fastball at the belt, not happy with the call, but he's down 1-2.
That's just one you know that's going to be called. It's a late strike, late 2 outs in the inning. You got to come with your best stuff with that 2-out approach, and you got to get that bat around on one of those.
1-2, breaking ball inside, doesn't get the call. A stone-cold take from Humphrey. And the at-bat keeps going.
It's a good pitch. Would like to see a fastball after that off speed, maybe on the outside half.
Runner goes, and it's hit to the right side in the vacated hole where Jack Mosh was. So Rowe will go first to third, and Humphreys reaches on the first hit for the Griffins.
Beautiful approach from Humphrey. Saw the hole open up. He was behind on the outside fastball, but he got it through that hole. Mosh would have been right at him, but Mosh was going after the steal on the right-handed batter. That opens up that hole to the outfield. Great approach from Humphrey, and that moves the runner all the way over to third. So now runners on the corners. And the first time we've seen a man 90 feet away from home the whole time this game.
Now Shadrach Salazar, he struck out swinging. And he pops the first pitch up right behind home plate. Off go the mask, off go the helmet, and into the glove goes the ball. As Ashton Nance faces a little bit of heat in the 4th, but he works around a hit by pitch and a single. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Still a couple big old donuts and plenty of sugar on the scoreboard. Looking for our first run here in the MINK League semifinals. Dom Felix will get the Mustangs started here in the fourth as Ashton Nance able to work around a hit by pitch and a single. And the threat for the Griffins turns out to just be a moot point.
It was a good one. You know, Humphrey had a good approach, moving the runner all the way over to third. They had the opportunity. Salazar just got too underneath the fastball. But Jennings on the mound against these Mustangs. They've put up 3 hits. They're still looking for their first run. So through the first 3 for the Mustangs, they're quiet.
Felix has one of those 3 hits. It was a first pitch single in the second, but he was stranded at second base. Felix, just his 3rd game versus Nevada this season as he's way out in front of a breaking ball, now down 0-2. In the previous 2, he's 2 for 7 with 3 runs scored, an RBI and a walk, and one of those hits was a double. Oh, 2 is roped into left. Salazar over, but right at him as Dom Felix gets robbed yet again on a hard hit ball to left field.
Probably the biggest victim of the Phil Welch graveyard so far this season. He has a bunch of hard hit balls, especially to that left field side. He's a big pull hitter, and he got ahead on that one. He put a good barrel to it. I just think he didn't get the meat of that bat once again. If he hits that meat of the bat, that definitely does get over the head of Salazar, maybe trails the wall, but just a good approach. I want him to keep swinging like that. You know, don't lose that confidence because one of those will for sure work out here.
Now Jack Mosh flied out to Salazar out and left, his first time up. So with that out recorded, Kenny Jennings now in his longest, tied for his longest stint of the season, and that goes all the way back to his first appearance in the first game for the Griffins when he went 3 1/3 innings and picked up a save in a 4-1 win over Chillicothe. He only allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 4. So he gets Jack Mosh down 0-2, but Mosh will just slap one into left field and it'll fall. Good 0-2 approach from Jack Mosh, and it's a 1-out single.
I'll agree with you, Truman. Great approach. Saw something close to the zone, a little bit down towards the knees, but he went down and got it just to make sure. And right there, it's another time Mosh just is able to squeak it past the infield into the outfield. One of the best hitters here in the Mustangs and in the Mink, showing why. And now it's time for the Mustangs to get something going. Runner on, bottom of the 4th. Let's get him around.
4th single for the Mustangs, 39th hit of the year for Mosh. Chris Coy is another guy who has one of those 4. It was a 1-out single through the left side in the second. Two 2-0 now to Coy. That hit was Coy's 4th of the year against Nevada pitching. Playing in his 7th game versus the Griffins. On 2-0, pops one foul territory. Burton over, and he has enough room to make the grab for out number 2.
That's another at-bat that these Mustang hitters are going to want back, especially Coy there. That's a pitch upstairs that's going to be tough to judge. He did want to get a bat on it because he thought he could get around. Just jammed him on the inside, put one on an easy line in foul territory for Burton's. Now 2 outs. Mustangs are just looking to get something around the bases in hopes to not go down once again to Jennings.
It almost seems like they're trying to do too much instead of, knowing how important runs are, especially in the playoffs. Just trying to do too much. Seen a lot of pop-ups. A lot of guys getting under it. Guy who didn't get under it, Justin George, he just lined it right at Humphreys, pretty much just like that. Humphreys got a bad read, but he comes in. And 2 at-bats for Justin George and 2 line outs to center as Kenny Jennings strands another, scatters the 4th hit. Mustangs still can't muster a run. Headed to the 5th here at Phil Welch. 0-0. So far, deadlocked at 0. Neither team able to break through against the other's pitching, as this semifinal game here in 2025 just a bit closer than 2024's semifinal for the Mustangs, which was a comfortable 9-3 victory over the Merchants Jackson. I mean, the later we get into the game, the more likely it seems like one run is going to win this ball game.
It's all it'll take. I feel like it's going to give the other team an edge. That one run could turn into 5, 6, but who knows? Maybe that one run, like you said, Truman, could just stick around and be that last punch to this team's season. So the pitching has been phenomenal from both sides, but it's whose bats are going to wake up.
Griffins got their first couple base runners in the 4th. They stranded runners at the corners. Trenton Creek flying to Braden Lukehart out in center. His first time up. Now he's down 1-2 to Nance. Creek comes in, 3 straight games tallying 2 RBIs. He's walked in 4 straight games. He's found ways to be productive for this Griffin team. Another pop-up, shallow left center. In comes Trevor McCollum, and he'll make the grab. And Trenton Creek is retired for the second time.
For any kids watching at home, I mean, from up here in the booth, I could hear McCollum's loud voice say, ball, 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 right off the bat. How important it is, especially in those blooper situations when you have 3 guys crashing towards it. McCollum, prominent in his voice, I got it, ball, ball, ball. That's exactly what you want out of an outfielder in McCollum.
Now Rhett Hayes. He was way ahead 3-0 his first trip around against the Mustangs starter, but then ended up grounding out to Jack Mosh. Makes him now 1 for 10 here in his 4th game against St. Joe. He has scored a run and drawn a walk. Fouls another fastball off. Griffins haven't been able to time up that Ashton Nance fastball yet. They really haven't gotten comfortable with Nance's timing. He's get on the rubber and go. 1-2 offerings outside.
It really is that modern style type of pitching these days with most of these high schooler kids. I mean, they're on the mound, 1 step and go, but Nance with that fastball and how long that arm length is, it's tough to see.
Line to center, Lukehart shielding his eyes, and he never saw it. Never saw the liner from Hayes, and Rhett Hayes reaches with a 1-out single.
As Mustangs fans, we were kind of hoping for that clouds we were seeing the last couple of innings to stick around there because Lukehart just ate up the sun. He was in the perfect spot, just need to shift over to his right a little bit more, but that's a tough break for the Mustangs. And now 1 out, double plays and orders, put that ball on the ground here in the middle half.
Second hit for the Griffins, 13th hit of the season for Rhett Hayes. Is now with 1 out, it's Xander Miller. Nance responds with a first pitch strike. It was one of those locations on those liners, Jackson, that if that ball's a little bit higher, Lukehart probably sees it, but it stayed. It was off the bat, it was in the sun, and it just stayed in the sun.
It was tough because it was in that eye line. You know, you just can't see it anywhere off the bat just because it's right there in his eyes the whole time.
Even now between pitches, basically Braden Lukehart has his right arm with his glove just pretty much fixated in that position. All 3 outfielders have sunglasses on, but sometimes, I mean, you need even more protection against the sun. There's a good block on a breaking ball from Philippi. We have yet to see either team get a successful stolen base. Griffins did attempt one back in the 4th, and it worked. Jordan Rowe was able to vacate second base as Jack Mosh went over to cover, and Bryce Humphrey reached on a single. But there's strikeout number 3 from Ashton Nance as Xander Miller goes down swinging.
Just goes back to his reliable fastball, just blew it right past him. Just couldn't get the foot down in time, and beautiful sequence again from Nance. He's really showing his stuff, especially with runners on. He seems more comfortable. But like back to what you said about the stolen bases. If there's only a couple things that the Mustangs' kryptonite is, it's allowing stolen bases.
9-hole hitting Cal Cozens. Now with 2 outs and still the runner at first base in Rhett Hayes. Cozens grounded out to Chris Coy in the 3rd. He's now ahead of Nance 2-0. Even though we've seen plenty of guys ahead of Nance, 2-0, 3-1, 2-1, doesn't seem to affect Nance. Reaches out, pokes one off Felix, but he's able to recover and throw out Cousins to George and strand that runner at first base. Just the one-out single from Red Hayes. Griffins still scoreless through 5. Mustangs are looking to put some runs up on the board as we're headed to the bottom of the 5th here in the 2025 MINK League semifinals between the St. Joseph Mustangs and the Nevada Griffons here on YouTube. '25 MINK League semifinal round here between the St. Joseph Mustangs and the Nevada Griffons. I'm Truman Griesel. Jackson Phelps alongside me tonight. If you're just joining us, Jackson, I mean, we're halfway through this game, and I really think, besides when will either team score, who will be the first to break the scoreless tie, but it's really a question of how much gas is in the tanks for both starting pitchers, because, I mean, we talked about it in the open, but it's playoffs time. That means really you can more or less throw the cards out of like, hey, you're only going 4 innings tonight, you're only going 5 innings, and especially for Nevada, I mean, they only have 13 guys here tonight. I mean, Kenny Jennings has been phenomenal. Do you just let it ride until he gives up that run? I mean, are you just letting him ride the whole time?
At this point, I think that's what the plan of attack is. You were wanting 4 or 5. You're here in the 5th. He's done a great job keeping a 0 on the board. I was expecting them to pull with maybe 2-3 runs on. He's done his job, but he's looking to see if he can continue getting through here in the middle half. So love what I'm seeing from him, but it's time for the Mustangs to attack. He's a closer. He's probably losing some of that stamina. Then they're going to have to go out of the guys from the field. So if there's a time to attack, it's now.
Leads the team with 3 saves. And he gets the 8-9-1 hitters in this St. Joe lineup. Jennings has scattered just 4 measly singles. The only inning the Mustangs have had more than 1 base runner was back in the 2nd. And Dom Felix and Chris Coy both singled, but nothing came of that. Easton Philippi was the guy who ended the 2nd, grounding into a fielder's choice. Now he chases a fastball outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I like that location from Jennings. He went back-to-back outside fastballs. Philippi wasn't expecting that. He was expecting maybe an off-speed trailing towards the inside half, but like that spot.
Clips one, stays alive. I mean, we've talked about it. Jennings, again, we don't know if it's the sun, but he's just done a phenomenal job of keeping these Mustangs hitters off balance and uncomfortable in the box. Something we just haven't seen all season from St. Joe.
Yeah, that was my next comment. I agree. I think it's just something that we haven't seen. They know how to time up these pitchers. They at least just know how to put the ball into play.
And it might just be something, this is the first time Jennings is facing St. Joe, and so maybe just not the familiarity. I mean, you're playing the rest of these MINK League teams 5, 6, 7 times a year. But Philippi's on a full count pitch, line to right, but in comes Rowe to rob another Mustangs hitter of another hit.
That's a great approach from Philippi on a full count. Saw something on that inside half that he's been sitting on, and he pulled it. A beautiful swing, but another Phil Welch graveyard spot is ready for Mr. Philippi's fly ball. Happened to Felix out in left. It's going both sides. They're just looking for that hole in that outfield.
Too much topspin. If that ball is just a little bit more backspin, that ball may be going off the wall, and Philippi may be digging for extra bases. Trevor McCollum singled in the third, 1 for 1. It's his 4th hit of the year against Griffin pitching. And it broke a 3 for 21 stretch he had been going through in his last 6 games. Takes a big rip at a breaking ball, down 1-2. Might also be a thing of Jennings has just been attacking the strike zone. I mean, Mustangs, how often have they worked a lot of walks leading to a hit? As there's another strikeout, chases the slider outside. The 2nd strikeout for Kenny Jennings.
It was a great pitch. McCollum was not expecting that. It almost looked like a two-seam fastball out of the hands, just kept cutting. Maybe even a cutter fastball just on the other outside half of the plate. That's just so hard to see out of the hands. Jennings just messing with the timing once again. And he's doing such a great job in his middle half with 2 quick outs.
Now back to the top in Frank Gall. He did reach bases last time up on a fielder's choice, but is officially 0 for 2. So now Jennings officially, Jennings' longest outing of the summer. Now 4 2/3 and continuing to just mow down these Mustangs hitters like he's riding a John Deere lawnmower. Gall came into this game hitting .417, clubbing his first homer in the regular season finale against Jeff City, but he rolls over one up the first base line. Quick, tough play from Jennings, and he flips it to Trey Burton to retire the side. Kenny Jennings, Ashton Nance, a pitching duel with the season on the line for both teams. Win or go home. And it's been fireworks, just not the kind of fireworks most fans expected. We're headed to the 6th already here at Phil Welch, and it's still a scoreless 0-0 ball game. Ashton Nance looking very strong here as he enters his 6th inning of work. And, I mean, Jackson, in theory, both teams are down to their final 12 outs. And we said this last inning, but it's really starting to feel like whoever gets that 1 run might just win this game.
The more we get down to those outs, the more we see these innings go down. It really is becoming prominent. Just 1 is the magic number in this pitching duel. Nance, rock solid. Same thing for Jennings, who's not a starter. Rock solid. We've seen some big things. The Griffins are kind of shocking the MINK League world the last 2 nights here in the playoffs.
Top of the lineup for the Griffins, Trey Burton, Jordan Rowe, and Nick Kalin. Just 6 combined hits and 7 combined base runners. No extra base hits. It's been 6 singles and a hit by pitch. It's pretty much the only offense we have seen, as both pitchers have been on fire. And we're an hour-ish into this ball game, and I mean, we're already in the 6th inning. That sun hasn't even left the infield.
It's one to say. I mean, we haven't seen this at all here at Phil Welch, even in the regular season as it is. It's something that you just don't see. Pitching duel at Phil Welch. no walks given up. I mean, that's something that you talked about the Mustangs have been so good at, drawing those walks. Not a single walk has been drawn. It's just something that we haven't seen, unfamiliarity to start the playoffs, but one, it's still that magic number.
Both pitchers have just been attacking the zone over and over, and have really had no chance for walks. 1-2 pitches upstairs to Burton. But again, I mean, the more we go deep into this game, the more the question raises of when extra innings comes around. By a landslide, the Mustangs have a deeper bullpen. So that's why for Nevada, it's just how much can they get out of Kenny Jennings before they're just forced to change pitchers.
You know, I think does Nevada have a bullpen, which I don't think they do. I mean, we got a bunch of guys in the home bullpen. It's just, that's going to be something that could bite Nevada tonight. Not bringing on a bunch of pitching staff, because that's the thing that Mustangs have been able to attack these teams with. Always having a fresh arm that comes in and is rock solid out of that pen.
And definitely on the offensive end, attacking the tired arm. It's on 3-2. It's grounded to Coy. He's going to have to make a quick throw to get the speedy Burton. And he will, and it's the third time Trey Burton has been retired in this game.
3-2. Nance doesn't try to do anything too fancy, just puts it right back down the zone and makes Burton go to work. I love that from Nance. A lot of guys on that 3-2 count like to get something fancy with an off-speed on the other side of the plate. Nance was like fastball right down. Just got Burton tied up on a chopper, so a good first out there from Nance.
The one out, it's Jordan Rowe. He was the first of the 3 Griffins to reach base, and he reached base after getting hit by a 2-0 fastball back in the 4th. Ashton Nance's longest outing of the season was 6 1/3 innings. Currently sits at 5 1/3 and counting. He has Rowe down 0-2. That 6 1/3 was back on June the 22nd at Carroll. Got the win in that one. It was on 0-2 fastball just off the plate. Philippi tried to frame it and bring it back in, but our home plate umpire was not fazed. Now on 1-2, pulls the string with the slider, and he gets Jordan Rowe swinging.
Big strikeout. That's a big ump pitch there from Nance. Another fastball that just blown by one of these Griffins hitters. Taco time here in the playoffs for the first time. And Nance, again, it's really tough to judge of when he's done, because I feel like he's still in his groove. He has not missed a beat, is still finding that zone.
Nick Kalen digs in for the 3rd time against Nance. And I mean, you know, again, we talked about the questions for Nevada. You know, how long do they go with Jennings because of their limited amount of pitching? It's kind of the opposite for St. Joe. How long do you go with Nance because of your surplus amount of pitching? I mean, if you're playing for a MINK League championship and that series, it's a best of 3, potentially goes the full 3 games, that's Saturday. Theoretically, Nance could come back and make a start if he hasn't thrown too many pitches. Or are you just saying, hey, Nance, this is your only start of the postseason. Go out, give us all you have for however long you have, and we'll just figure it out the rest of the week.
You know, a dangerous thing for these MINK League opponents to judge is a fresh Mustangs bullpen.
1-2's sky down the right field line. Gall gives it a look. It's out of play.
But just that freshness, if you have a multiple surplus of arms out of that bullpen and starters, if Nance can come back, that's scary, scary stuff to have to look at and say, hey, we don't have what they have.
Another 0-2's fouled off. Kalen stays alive. He's flied out and grounded out in his first 2 trips. Dig into that right-hand batter's box against Nance. Nance looking to finish off 6 shutout innings here in the MINK League semifinals. Doesn't get him to chase the slider. 2-2 from Nance. Fouled off yet again. Kalen's staying alive and giving Nance a battle.
Team tops hitter, he knows that in this type of situation, he's got to keep himself up at the plate with 2 outs. He wants to be that guy to come through in the biggest moment. Right here at the top of the 6th, you're in that final third half, getting close to that final third half. It's time to be that guy, and I think Kalen realizes that.
8th pitch of the at-bat. Called strike 3 right at the knees. Big time strikeout for Ashton Nance, strikeout number 5. And he polishes off 6 shutout innings with back-to-back strikeouts. He'll head back to the home first base dugout praying that his offense can finally crack the code that is Kenny Jennings. But we'll be back with the bottom of the 6th here on YouTube as your Mustangs and the Griffins still deadlocked at 0 runs apiece. You know, Jackson, as we enter the bottom of the 6th, still 0-0, you usually say grab your popcorn when there's an offensive showcase. What do you say when there's a pitching duel? I mean, do you grab your favorite candy? Do you go into maybe something salty, maybe grab some crackers, maybe chips and dip? I mean,
man, grab ibuprofen for some of that headache of let's get something going. But the other thing that I'm grabbing, Snickers bar, because I feel like these boys are hungry. And when you're hungry, you need a Snickers bar, and I think they're just ready to get something going on those base paths.
Definitely when you're not yourself, you need a Snickers as Darius Freeman chases a pitch in the dirt. Freeman, one of those guys, 0 for 2, and he's been just the heart and soul of this team, a fan favorite here in St. Joe. If there be a guy to come through in this situation, it would be Freeman. And he lost one to left. It takes Salazar back, but he runs it down just in front of the warning track. Freeman gave it a good ride, but he's now 0 for 3.
That's a good swing. It was trailing to the left off the bat. It looked like it could have escaped Salazar's zone because he was playing on the shallower, more right side on the screen in left field, but it just trailed up enough. Salazar had the time. The swings are looking good by these Mustangs. They're just getting unlucky with the way these Griffins have positioned themselves in the defense tonight.
Now Braden Lukehart is also 0 for 2. Couple of infield pop-ups. Came into this game 7 for 19 with 9 runs scored and a homer against the Griffins in 5 games. But again, out in front, it just seems like whenever the Mustangs are sitting on a pitch, Jennings is able to read their mind and throw a different pitch and get them way out in front. One is outside. Lukehart also comes into this game riding a 4-game hitting streak. During that stretch, he's 6 for 13, a double, couple of homers, and 10 runs driven in. 7th in the MINK in batting average at .333. Jennings has him down 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Jennings is working. He's messing up with his tempo again, and I think the Mustangs just haven't been able to get it timed. Like you said, Truman, it's just been a battle in the mind.
Doesn't chase that 1-2 offering. Lukehart could have a 16-game hitting streak, but he had his 11-game hitting streak broken July 13th at Jeff City. So a week ago Sunday. He's been hot since returning to this lineup, but rolls over just outside of first. Lukehart from Missouri Southern, but was born and raised here in St. Joe. Used to be a MINK League team down in Joplin, the Joplin Outlaws. But slowly over the years, we've seen MINK League teams come and go, but a staple has been St. Joe.
Lafayette High School. That's where he was at in his high school days at St. Joe.
Now the payoff pitch from Jennings, inside ball 4. And the Mustangs have a base runner after Jennings had retired 6 batters in a row.
First walk for any of the squads tonight. Great job by Lukehart working it out to a full count. Right now for the Mustangs, I would love to see them be aggressive with Lukehart with his speed. Would love to see him be in scoring position with 1 out. I feel like they've gotten themselves in those scoring positions just that one time back in the second, but it came at a bad time with 2 outs, so it's time to get it going.
Lukehart is a perfect 17 for 17 stealing bases. Haven't yet to see the Mustangs try and swipe a bag tonight, which is very uncharacteristic. They are just so good at creating that chaos. Dom Felix arguably has had the best couple of at-bats against Jennings. He singled, and then he roped one to left, but right at Shadrach Salazar. This one, he just pops it straight up on the infield. Cozens is over, and with 2 hands, squeezes it for out number 2.
I mean, another one that just caught up on a Mustangs hitter on the inside half. I mean, Felix wanted to poke something into the outfield, got 2 underneath that with his wood. That was just a tough break again. 2 outs, base runner on. Would love to see Lukehart going off here in this at-bat.
Jack Mosh is also 1 for 2. Before that walk to Lukehart, he had been the last Mustang to reach. Opposite field single back in the 4th. But now with 2 outs and a runner on first. Pitch in the dirt. Lukehart got a great read. Throw down not in time. And there is a little bit of chaos being created as Braden Lukehart read that breaking ball in the dirt from the hand to the mitt of Kalen.
Great job by Lukehart, and he was already an extra step ahead. And once that ball hit the ground, he was off, and it did not give enough time for Kalen to throw down to Creek. Now an RBI chance for Mosh, the perfect guy, just behind 40 hits with 39.
Off the end of the bat, diving stab made by Jennings, throw over, and a huge roar out of Kenny Jennings. 6 shutout innings for the man who hadn't gone more than 3 1/3 and keeps this game tied. We're headed to the 7th. Still nothing here in the 2025 MINK League semifinals. Entering the 7th, I've still yet to pick up my highlighter as no runs have come across, but Ashton Nance has the confidence from his manager, Johnny Coy, back out for his 7th inning of work and gets the 4-5-6, the meat of this Nevada order looking to throw up another 0.
I think what you were going back to, Truman, of how long do you want to go if you want to see him again in the playoffs. I think they're like, Nance, you're the only man that can keep us in the playoffs right now with how he's been pitching. It's time to get to that time in the bottom third half. It's crunch time.
Crunch time is started by Bryce Humphrey. He's 1 for 2. It was his single that really is the only real opportunity for Nevada that they've had. Put runners at the corners with 2 outs all the way back in the 4th. What's at stake here tonight is a trip to the MINK League Championship Series, which will begin Thursday. It's one skied to center, Lukehart back, but he's under it and makes the grab.
I mean, that was probably one of the better hits off the bat we've seen from a Griffin. Just trailed just enough. It was going into that sun, so I was getting a little bit nervous for Mr. Lukehart, but why would I get nervous? He owns that spot out in center field. Just a mishap a couple innings ago, but that was hard to see. Just a great job getting that first out. The leadoff man retired. Just throw up that extra 0. Got to trust your offense is going to get going sometime.
First time all season, I think Braden Lukehart has still had to shield his eyes from the sun in the 7th inning of a game here at home. As Mustangs have had no afternoon start games. It's all been 6:30 or 7. But we're here 7:57 Central Standard Time. And the sun is still very much out as it's Shadrach Salazar. Nance got him to pop up to Philippi to end that threat back in the 4th. Now he gets him off the end of the bat. Coy gonna have to make a tough play, and he gets Salazar by a step.
I mean, just off the intangibles right now, Nance is doing an amazing job making his defense be the ones. Because right now you're starting to lose that velocity and stamina. It's all about putting it in the ground for the defense or putting it out in the air for the outfields. But a great job. Coy did his job up the middle. That's a tough play to get. Salazar not the fastest guy, so it gave Coy an extra step. And a big 2 outs for Nance.
A couple of flyouts for Trenton Creek as he digs in for the 3rd time with 2 outs and nobody on. Now officially Nance's longest outing of the summer, surpassing that start back in Carroll. Now 6 2/3. And he's still razor sharp. And I mean, I guess the question now for Nance is, as a high schooler, you only play a maximum of seven innings. You know, that is the, more or less, unless you go into extras. So how used to is Nance going more than 7? I mean, the jump to college ball, you're going to need some point to have that stamina.
Yeah. It's really going to, going back to that college thing, it's going to look really good for his college tape going into his, wherever he wants to decide to go in his freshman season.
Nance committed to Johnson County Community College.
JCCC, yep.
You think if he can have a good season there might be some Division I schools that come calling his number. He's on 3 run with 2 outs here in the 7th. Trenton Creek draws a walk. First walk issued by Ashton Nance.
There it is. Jennings gave up a walk last inning with 1 out given, and he came back and got the 2 outs. Now, a 2-out walk isn't the worst thing. The way Nance has been pitching into the defense, I'm not worried. I think he gets the job done here. But Griffins, I mean, they have shown that they can come after some teams with runners on. They saw it last night against Chillicothe. They're looking for one as well.
Nevada capitalized off errors last night by Chillicothe. Plated 2 runs in 2 separate innings. With 2 outs, it's Rhett Hayes. Single to center his last time up. Now on 1-0, it's lined into left. In comes McCollum. A tumbling grab made by Trevor McCollum. Robs Rhett Hayes of a hit and keeps Nevada with a big old 0 on the scoreboard.
What a play by McCollum. I mean, with everything there, if he misses that ball, that could get past him. Maybe scores Creek, goes all out. He knows what's at stake here as we head into the final third half. What a job by McCollum.
We've stretched here at Phil Welch, but not much. I mean, maybe a little bit to stretch it because we haven't gotten out of our seats yet. No runs by either team, just 6 measly singles. Both teams have now each had a walk, but it's been all about the pitchers. Ashton Nance for St. Joe, and the man right now on the bump, Kenny Jennings for Nevada.
Right now with Jennings, you know that he's not used to going this far, especially with Nance as well. I mean, both pitchers are in spots that they've never been in. And right now I just have that feeling, that baseball feeling that I feel like the Mustangs, it's time to crack through. You're here in the 7th inning facing Jennings. I mean, he's almost doubled his maximum spot out on a mound, so it's time. I feel like they've seen his pitches. They've seen what he's given. They've gotten 3 or more at-bats. I think it's time that they finally crack open, get multiple hits, maybe work some more walks, just at least work him up in the count. That's what I would say is your best step.
6, 7, 8 for St. Joe, led off by Chris Coy. Who will be the Mustang to come through big for their team and get the momentum back in the dugout and give some life? It's been very quiet from that home first base dugout, a dugout that is known for being very raunchy. Has really had not much to chirp about tonight. Coy is one of the 4 hits for the Mustangs. It was all the way back in the 2nd inning. Really the only time that the Mustangs have threatened. They had runners at first and second and only 1 out. But Kenny Jennings able to get out of it. Last inning they had a runner at second and 1 out. But again, Jennings able to just hunker down. Now a high chopper up the middle. Creek has to wait on it, make a quick throw, and he will. Great defense being played behind Kenny Jennings here tonight. Retires Chris Coy.
Off the bat, it was a good swing. It just got on top of it early on, and that's why I put such a pop high fly to Creek. But he had to make it quick. Coy with such fast speed, but Creek, a good transfer to the hands. Didn't lose it on the transfer. Just a good defensive play for the first out.
It's been wonderful defensively for the Griffins, who last time they were here at Phil Welch, they were here for back-to-back games. They had 6 errors in one of those 2 games. Tonight looks just like a completely different defensive squad, playing freely and loosely, and not at all do they seem tight, making plays.
And this is the number 6th seeded, last seed to make it into the playoffs versus the number 1. They are knowing that they are David.
Now Justin George, another line drive, and this one finally falls. He'd been robbed a couple times, but now finally gets his first hit of the night.
That's one George was waiting for. He got ahead of it, pulled it, and a beautiful swing. Now with 1 out, another base runner on first with 1 out. How far do you want to try it? George isn't the fastest guy, but it's time to get aggressive, especially at the plate.
25th hit for George this season. Brings up Easton Philippi. Georgia guy not known for his base stealing, is 7 for 7, including 4 of those coming against the Griffins. So he definitely has been able to time up Griffin pitching nicely. Not going the first pitch. Philippi takes it outside. Philippi got robbed of a hit his last time up. Jordan Rowe made a nice play out and right. Kansas City, Missouri native. Graduated from Staley High School. Now, with the days that keep on going by, is now running on 2.5 months. He's closer to starting his freshman year of college than he is graduating from high school. He's ahead 2-0. Jennings might be starting to tire a little bit. How much gas is left in that tank? Did he remember to fill up before the game? Now 3-0. First 3-0 count we've seen all night from Jennings. .30 is just low, and Easton Philippi works a walk. First time tonight we've seen the Mustangs back up, good at bat with a good at bat. And now it's a real threat brewing here in the bottom of the 7th.
And after that threat, 4 straight pitches that are balls to Philippi. We're going to get a mound visit. And right now it's about Jennings is how long until you want to shake it up and see some other arms. But that's when stuff gets dangerous, especially in the bottom of the 7th. You're starting to get to that, that cranky bottom half because Mustangs put runs on the board. You run out of your time to get runs back on the board before it gets to that 9th inning whenever you're at the top of the 9th and you may be down 3-4 runs that stacked up with these last couple of chances that the Mustangs are coming to the plate. So scary situation if you're the Griffins, but the Mustangs right now, perfect time to attack. Runner on second with an out.
It is the 9-hole Trevor McCollum with the Frank Gall in the leadoff spot. Stands on deck. Update on the other MINK League playoff game going on. Jeff City lead the Carroll Merchants 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Winner of that will play Clarinda tomorrow night. And then the winner of that game will then host the Mustangs on Thursday with then games 2 and, if needed, game 3 of the MINK League Championship Series being played. And just said that the Mustangs were going to be going, and my partner gave me a look. But, it's the
No, I love it. I love it.
Sometimes you got to speak it into existence.
I love it. I love the confidence.
We've had a little bit unlucky announcer jinxes tonight, but maybe saying it one more time can spark some life. McCollum has had big hits this season. He had a walk-off hit against Clarinda earlier this year. He fouls one off. In that same game, he also had the game-tying hit. He's a guy who lives for the moment, lives for the opportunity. Like so many of these Mustang players that are just begging Johnny Coy to let them have the bat with the game on the line. Fastball just misses off the plate. Jennings, a lot of small misses here in the 7th. Just hasn't gotten the calls to go his way.
Especially in this late half, especially on the outside half with those fastballs. They're just missing the chalk.
1-2-1 grounded. Jennings goes to third, and a heads-up play by Kenny Jennings cuts down the leadoff runner in George for the second out.
I mean, wow, this is a great defensive play by Jennings. He decides to get it off the hop. He has enough time to make that throw over to third. George was not far enough down the line to make it a competitive play, but now 2 outs, runner on second. What an out for the Griffins, but they're still dealing with the leadoff man to try and bring that run home.
Frank Gall looking for his first hit, 0 for 3. Mustangs have still yet to get a guy on even third base. We've only had one runner on third base, and that was for the Griffins way back in the 4th inning. Crowd that has shown up here at Phil Welch, wanting something to cheer about. It's been quiet most of the night, trying to get their team in it. Luke Gall ahead 2-0, and an even more dangerous man. Darius Freeman stands on deck. I know Kenny Jennings does not want to allow Gall to get on and have to face Freeman. Gall lines one. That will fall into left field. Making the turn. Heading home is Philippi. The throw. Not in time. Frank Gall breaks the scoreless tie with a go-ahead RBI single.
What a job by Mr. Gall coming through when it mattered the most. Lines it off the outside pitch, and the speed from Philippi just gets it past. What a job by Frank Gall. Now the Mustangs. Darius Freeman, 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. They're not done.
The scoreless tie has been broken off the bat of Frank Gall. It was a great throw by Shadrach Salazar, just ran out of juice. And Easton Philippi was able to sneak that left hand before Nick Kalin was able to apply the tag. And now 2 more ducks on the pond for their best hitter, Darius Freeman. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Can he follow up Frank Gall's hit with one of his own? Line to center, right at Humphreys, and he'll make the grab. But the scoreless tie has been broken off the bat of Frank Gall. Drives in Easton Philippi. 1 run in the inning, 2 hits, 2 runners left. Headed to the 8th, Mustangs lead 1-0. Making his 9th appearance of the season, it's Lane Chapman, the lefty out of the bullpen, takes over for Ashton Nance after 7 shutout innings. And now the Mustangs, with that 1-run lead, will turn it over to their bullpen, as Nance has just given up 1 run in 14 innings of work, and he has been fantastic. Last time out, last Saturday, gave 1 inning against the Renegades, struck out 1 and walked 1. And now he'll look to get the 8th here with the lead now.
There's a reason why they wanted the guy who was only given up 1 through 14 innings. It's because that's the 1 is the magic number. Right now the Mustangs are riding on that, and they're relying on that 1 run on the board to stay strong, and Chapman's the guy to put in. But Nance, only 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk. I mean, he came out and did his job. Such a fun guy to watch. But now it's the Mustangs bullpen. It's something that the Griffins don't have tonight, and I think this is where the Mustangs might take it if they have an area to. But it's up to Chapman to limit those walks, to limit those easy passes. It's time to lock it down here in the 8th.
Chapman has a save. He's also struck out 13 and walked 8. Like you said, Jackson, the walks maybe have been the only real issue from this lefty's arm this season. He gets the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, led off by Xander Miller. Griffins down to their final 6 outs in their season. The first pitch off the hands, grounded right to Jack Mosh, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out for Lane Chapman.
Beautiful. Can't say it much more than that. I mean, he put it on the right down on the outside half. Miller just put it on, but it was just an easy chopper over to Mosh. A beautiful first out. Now that magic number is 5 outs for the Mustangs to deal with. Just chipping away, chipping away. But it's nice that Chapman got it done on the first pitch.
It was Frank Gall who came through for St. Joe with a 2-out RBI single to left. Easton Philippi able to beat the throw in from Shadrach Salazar and break our tie. Cal Cozens digs in. He had been 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs against Ashton Nance. Chases a fastball with a lot of 2-seam action from Chapman that can be so deadly to right-hand hitters. Opponents are just hitting 176 against Chapman this year. Virtually untouchable. But Cozens ropes one, but pulled it too much. He read the breaking ball, but was just 2 out in front. Now down 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It was a good swing by Cozens, just like you said. Just out in front, got the hands out too quick. He needs to sit back on those fastballs, but Chapman, he knows how to work the tempo. It's a difference in what he does every single pitch, and that's where he's so lethal. But now in a 2-strike count, Cozens has really got to shorten this approach.
1-2, fouled off. Griffins sitting on just no runs on 2 hits. We've also had a guy get hit by a pitch and a walk. But they've only 1 inning. Back in the 4th, did they have more than 1 base runner? 1-2 just low. Cozens 3 for 16 now in his 6th game against the Mustangs. He scored 3 runs and drawn 3 walks. 2-2 rip to left. In comes McCollum. He'll dive again. And Trevor McCollum, why don't you just take a bow?
Take the bow, call the curtains in left field. It is an amazing performance tonight from McCollum. Another sliding catch to keep one off the base paths, and 2 big outs for Lane Chapman and the Mustangs. Magic number 4 runs. 4 outs is now what's at stake in the Griffins season.
The only thing that might be better than this pitching performance from Ashton Nance, now continuing with Lane Chapman, has been the play of the 3 outfielders. Trevor McCollum, Braden Lukehart, and Frank Gall. They've been blurs out there and robbed the Griffins of a lot of hits and saved some runs. It's Trey Burton in the leadoff spot, back to his spot in the order here with 2 outs. He quickly finds himself down 0-2. Griffin fans are hoping, for those that made the trip here to Phil Welch and those watching here on YouTube, hoping that their team has any life, any rallies left in them. Hoping last night wasn't a fluke, as they've given the #1 seed and regular season champs a run for their money.
Shocking the entire MINK League world with how they've been playing the last 2 games. They've really turned it up since that big losing streak, and I give props to them for that.
0-2 is just low on the fastball. Griffins were looking to put a blemish on the Mustangs' 24-2 home record. Their only losses, a non-con against the Kansas City Monarchs early in the season, and a game to Carroll. 1-2, just low again, right at the shin. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Great job by Burton. He's trying to work himself back, but here on 2-2, I expect Chapman to just go right back to that fastball in the zone.
Chapman into the line, 2-2. Jammed, pop-up, Chapman calls it. Right on the mound, flips the ball behind his head, and Lane Chapman does it out of the bullpen.
Absolutely beautiful. Exactly what you wanted from your guy. 1, 2, 3 with the 1 run on the board. Still 2 hits on the board for the Griffins. They're still trailing in their own selves, and they're down to 3 outs, but the Mustangs still have a chance, Truman, to come back and get some more insurance runs on the board.
Headed to the bottom of the 8th, 1-0 Stangs. One run that feels like 10 is the only thing that separates these 2 teams, as just the 1 blemish on the line for Kenny Jennings. He ran into trouble in the 7th. It was a 1-out single by Justin George. Easton Philippi reached on a walk. He got Trevor McCollum to ground into a fielder's choice, but with 2 outs on 2-0, Frank Gall has come through with a 2-out RBI single, and it's how we stand here in the bottom of the 8th.
And just what a job Frank Gall has been doing the last couple of appearances he's seen here at Phil Welch. He's really came through in times that is needed. Last Saturday had the bomb. I mean, that was a game that didn't really need a run, but he's really came through in that department. You know, Gall's just, after that injury, he's really looking like himself. And right now the Mustangs still have that 1 more chance to get an insurance run.
Looking to add some insurance. It's the 3-4-5, led off by Braden Lukehart. He reached on a walk his last time up, and now he rips one right field, but right at Jordan Rowe yet again. Hangs up just enough, and it's a loud out here to begin the 8th.
Ooh, Lukehart was feeling himself on that swing. First pitch you saw was in the zone, up, and that, like, up near that chest level, that's exactly where Lukehart likes it. A roped swing once again into right field. Just didn't go his way once again. I would love to see that maybe trail a little bit more to the right down the line, get extra bases, but unfortunate first out.
Dom Felix, he's reached once. That was a single his first at-bat in the second. Since then, he's lined to left and popped up to Cousins at second. Felix ahead 2-0. He's a guy we felt like should at least have 5 homers this season. He's ran into a bunch of baseballs, has yet to see a ball go over the wall. He's ahead 3-0 here. One of the veterans on this team.
Right now, you got to wonder with Jennings, another 3-0 spot that he's found himself in the last 2 innings. How much longer do you want to rely on there? And there's the walk.
Now a 1-out walk here to Dom Felix. The 3rd walk now issued. And he's walked a guy in each of the last 3 innings. As Nick Kalen will take the long walk to the mound just to give a little talk to Jennings.
Tough situation for Jennings. Another 4. It's the 4-pitch walk that's rough. You can't find the zone. But it's a time that you don't want to give anything in the zone to the Mustangs hitters. I think they've seen everything that Jennings has given them, and so they're ready for just about anything. That's the tough thing with being a guy who doesn't know how to go that long, and you're in the 8th. The guys have seen your pitches. They know about what's coming, so we saw Lucart time it up. Felix couldn't get anything, but you don't want to give anything to this man coming up to the plate.
Jack Mosh, the one time he did get something, he made the most of it, singled in the 4th. But for now, Aaron Hassel sticking with his guy, Jennings. Squeezing out just every out he can. Out of the guy from Lyon College and originally from Louisville, Texas. Starts the Mustangs second baseman off with a strike. Felix 2 for 3 in stolen base attempts this season. Not the biggest threat in the world to go. Has Mosh down 0-2.
Saw Felix give a little bit of a deke, probably to Kalen at the catcher spot to get him a little bit rattled. But now 0-2, Mosh is really going to shorten that approach. Don't want to put it on the ground because we've seen these middle infielders come through with making those plays up the gap.
Gives a long look over to Felix. 0-2 to Mosh. Crushed about 400 feet, but about another 400 feet foul.
Watch those car windshields. It's going out straight to the parking lot. I mean, he was all over it outside with the hands. A great swing, got all of the barrel, just the wrong direction. That thing, if it is straight and on, I think that could get over that yellow frog graphic sign.
Another 0-2. Looped into left field. Second hit of the night for Jack Mosh. Little Luis Ariz-esque, just poking it out. And now the Mustangs have 2 on with 1 out.
And that's a great MLB comparison for him. I mean, the average is always up for him. He always knows when the great spots to hit are going to be. And right there, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th, just trying to advance Felix into scoring position. Smart baseball play from Mosh on 0-2 just to get something off the bat. And we're likely to see the first and maybe the only pitching change here for the Griffins.
Chris Coy is due up. He has singled off Jennings, but Jennings has gotten the better of him the last 2 times, and there are some hugs going on. And I think this is going to do it for Kenny Jennings. What a Herculean effort. 7 1/3 innings, 1 run on 7 hits allowed by Mr. Jennings, the home faithful, and even Johnny Coy giving him his due diligence. But we'll take a short break and be back. Mustangs are threatening here in the 8th. be Gage Carson, who takes over after the incredible effort from the starter, David Kenny Jennings. He leaves after 7 1/3 inning, 1 run on 7 hits, 3 walks, and is responsible right now for both those runners on first and second.
Just what a job by him. He doubled his average of what he goes in games, and he predominantly a guy who comes in to save the game, the closer. Really looked like a full-blooded starting pitcher tonight. He did his stuff that none of us really expected him to do, and he kept his 0 on, but Carson's in a sticky situation. 1 out. You got Coy. He's been timing up these pitchers very well in this late half of the season. Is still itching to come through in a game, and I think it's right here.
First pitch to Coy's upstairs. Last time Carson pitched, he pitched July 14th against Clarinda, gave up 3 runs in an inning. He did pitch against the Mustangs back on July the 11th, gave up 3 runs in an inning and 2/3. He's also had an outing where he gave up 4 runs in 3 2/3 on 9 hits to these Mustangs. Opponents are hitting .425 off him. Pondering the question of when would the call to the bullpen be for the Griffins and who would it be, knowing their limited roster they've brought here to Phil Welch as Coy lines one. And what a snag! Trenton Creek goes up the ladder and uses all 5'7" of his frame to rob Chris Coy of a hit.
Wow, just wow. Trenton Creek off the bat, knew it, got the heels off the ground. What a catch. Another time that these defenses for both these squads have came through in big spots. That could save a run with Felix. He has the speed to get around. That could be a run-saving catch. Now with 2 outs, different situation for JG.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. And now it's Justin George with 2 outs. He did single his last time up. And a single could be a big hit right here. Coy gets robbed by Creek. And a huge sigh of relief from Carson out on the mound. Grounds it over to second, fielded on a knee by Cosins, and he throws over to first. So Gage Carson comes in and does the job. Saves the deficit at 1-0 and gets the Griffins out of it. But the Griffins down to their final 3 outs in their 2025 season. As we're headed to the 9th here at Phil Welch in the 2025 MINK League semifinals here on YouTube. Jace Johnson making his 20th appearance of the 2025 season. Comes in looking to tally his 4th save of the year. Johnson 2-0 with those 3 saves in 20 2/3 innings. 34 strikeouts, 7 walks. He's just given up 2 earned runs, and opponents only hitting .127.
Come on. This is the guy. Under 1 ERA. You got the 1 on the board, but if there is a man to keep anyone off any base path, it's Jace Johnson. The K to walk ratio, phenomenal. The innings pitched to run ratio, phenomenal. This is the guy. All Mink first team up and coming, I believe. Was robbed last year. He is proving the league why he needs to be all Mink League first team. And he's just done such a beautiful job for the Mustangs this season coming in. But this is the biggest time he's had to come out of the bullpen this year.
2, 3, 4, and that's not how you want to start. Lead off hit by pitch puts the tying run on here in the ninth.
Little bit of surrender cobra going on around the crowd. Just what in the world? That's not like Jace Johnson at all. But they can work it out. It's only no outs, runner on. Jace Johnson knows how to keep people on base as well. You got to work up that zone, and he's so good about attacking the zone. So I have not lost any bit of confidence in Johnson after giving up that.
Leadoff man is on, and we've seen before when Nevada's here been in town, they will play small ball. Let's see if Nick Kalen, who's 0 for 3, lays down the bunt. Felix is in at third. Bunt shown, pitch upstairs.
I think that's a good spot for Kalen to do this. He's the team's best hitter, but in this situation, you just want to get the runner moved up an extra 90 feet. It's going to be hard to do with Jace Johnson, but any bit you can is what you're out there to do.
Johnson has been untouchable this season. Bunt down, though. It's a good one up the first base line. No play at second. And Jace Johnson does throw to George to record the out, but now the tying run moves into scoring position.
Beautiful bunt from Kalen put down. Situational baseball, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what he was asked to do. Put it on the opposite side, on that first base side, just enough. And that will advance Jordan Rowe in. But a great, unselfish play made by Kalen.
Now with one out, and the tying run at second base, it's Bryce Humphrey. He was 1 for 3 against Ashton Nance. Takes strike one in the outer half. That one hit was a little duck fart squibber into right field. Back in the fourth. Behind on the heater, 0-2.
There you go. Jace Johnson puts another heater just right by him. Humphrey couldn't get a bat on it, just went right by him. I expect him try and tie Humphrey up here with an off-speed pitch. Get him out front.
Oh-2 from Johnson. Swung on and missed. Big second out for Jace Johnson.
And as big as they come, the off-speed works to perfection. Had Humphrey way out in front, had his front foot down before the ball even got halfway to the plate. Beautiful pitch and a good sequence there by Johnson. 1 out remains for the Griffins here with a runner in scoring position. Can Salazar be the hero?
2 outs. Tying run on second to extend the Griffins season. 1 out ends it. It's Shadrach Salazar. He's 0 for 3. Swings at a breaking ball, strike one. 0 for 14 this season against the Mustangs. But none a bigger time to tally your first hit than right now. A 1 line to center. It's slicing away from Lucard and it gets down. Shadrach Salazar has done it. The Griffins tie with 2 outs in the 9th.
I mean, just speechless. The most perfect swing from Shadrach Salazar. Cut to the right of Lucard, who is locked down in center field in those situations. Just far enough to score Rowe. Silence here at Phil Welch as the Griffins, with the last out of their season on the line, have tied it here in the 9th.
The Griffins aren't going away. And Jace Johnson blows his first save. As now it'll be Trenton Creek. Stunned crowd here at Phil Welch. Creek fouls it off. He drew a walk his last time up in the 7th. As for Salazar, RBI number 10, hit number 13 this season. And like I said, hit number 1 against the Mustangs. That one's way outside, ball 2. All-time thriller of a classic here in the MINK League semifinals. Griffins were down to their final out, and the leadoff hit by pitch comes around to score. And now Creek gives it a ride, but he got it on his hands. This one Luke Hart will grab to end the 9th, but not before the Nevada Griffons and Shadrach Salazar. Game-tying RBI single keeps their season alive. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. Mustangs will have a chance to walk it off here on YouTube. Bottom of the 9th. Griffins were down to their final out in the top of the 9th, and Shadrach Salazar comes through with a game-tying RBI single. And now all bets are off, as the Mustangs will have a chance to walk it off here in the bottom of the 9th. Facing the third arm, Bryce Humphrey takes over for Gage Carson, who got the final 2 outs in the 8th.
It's go time.
Now Easton Philippi line one's to right, and it's down. So just like the Griffins got a leadoff man on in the top half of the 9th, Easton Philippi with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 9th.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful from there from Philippi. Got all over it, pulled it. Great swing. Leadoff runner on is exactly what you need for the Mustangs. Now no outs. Philippi with some speed. You have a little bit of reliability as you head closer to that top half of the lineup, but don't sleep on Mr. 9 here in McCollum.
Trevor McCollum, talked about it. He's come through with clutch hits this season. Game tying and go walk-off singles against Clorinda. He squared around the bunt but pulls back. Philippi is a threat to steal. Not going. Pitch taken for a strike right at the belt. McCollum had squared around again. Philippi 11 for 12. Stealing bases. Haven't seen much small ball out of the Mustangs this year. Humphrey in his only outing was 3 2/3 at Clarinda July 13th. He gave up 6 runs on 7 hits, walked 6, and struck out 4. McCollum tries again, but it's popped straight back. Didn't have the best bunting for him, and now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you're going to have to go at it with a swing approach. Infield's going to play a little bit more back. It's time that McCollum is going to have to square something up that is something close to the zone. Big hole between first and second.
Would be shocked if McCollum tries to bunt again. So he's swinging away and he stays alive. Humphrey, originally from Evansville, Indiana. He's one of the many two-way players on this team for the Griffins. McCollum read the breaking ball and again stays alive, fouling it back.
That's all you can do right now in a tough situation. It's 50-50 every single time, and McCollum's just trying to keep himself up there to see if he can win one of these 50-50 battles, because that's all you need right now with no outs.
Seeing if Humphrey will throw him a mistake. Said he fouls off another. That one might have been outside, but McCollum not taking any chances. 8th pitch of the at-bat now coming to McCollum. Another 2-2. Fouled off yet again. Just the second batter Humphreys is facing, and McCollum is giving him a run for his money. Philippi led off this inning with a single. He's yet to even attempt to try and steal second. Not going. And taken, called strike 3. McCollum battled, but on pitch number 9. It's Bryce Humphrey who gets him looking.
Huge first out for the Griffins after giving up the first pitch single to Philippi. Battled all the way through 9 great pitches, but it just took the one. And on that 50-50, it was tossed up. It was Humphrey who ended up getting that final look on a beautiful pitch on the line.
Now the man who's driven in the Mustangs' only run, Frank Galls. There goes Philippi. He'll easily be into second. He almost tripped over his own feet as he was preparing to slide, but then he heard he could stand up. But now the winning run sits in scoring position.
Here we go. Top of the lineup, Frank Gall, righty-lefty matchup. Second base is going to be playing deep depth right now to see if he can try and shallow anything off. But one out. It's time for the Mustangs to get Philippi home.
Almost the same exact situation as in the 8th. Philippi was on second, Gall at the plate. 1-0's upstairs, 2-0. Gall singled to left, and it was a good throw from Shadrach Salazar. But the throw was just a hair behind, and Philippi was able to sneak his left hand across the plate. 2-1. He's popped up straight on the mound. In comes to make the grab Burton from first, and it's a huge out, number 2.
As big as they come for the Griffins, with 1 out and a runner on second, that is a huge, huge sigh of relief for Humphrey on the mound. 2 outs now on the board, and it's Mr. MVP's turn to get a crack and try and win this ball game.
Crowd knows who's coming to the plate. They're coming to their feet. Darius Freeman, 0 for 4 night, but a pair of lineouts in his last 2 at-bats against the starter Jennings. He's lined to left and lined to center, hoping one of those balls can land in the outfield grass. Philippi jumping around at second base. Freeman did not chase. Driven in 37 runs. Good enough for second in the MINK League in RBIs. But none bigger one could come right here. 1-0, chased it, pops it back. Kalen will give it a look, but it's up into the net.
Big break there for Freeman. Just got way under it. Lucky that it didn't trail and keep up with Kalen. Now 1-1. Freeman still got a good spot to get a piece.
Pitch was on the inner half. Freeman tried to turn on it, but got jammed a little bit. Philippi led off this inning with a single. He stole second base, but Frank Gall popped up after Trevor McCollum struck out. Griffins tied it in the top half of the ninth. Mustangs have a chance to win it here. 1-1. Taken low, 2-1.
Big take there from Freeman. Now he's ahead. He's got a little bit more juice to work with. He can see something because now it's up to Humphrey to come to Freeman.
Braden Luckhart sits on deck. If it gets that far. Freeman's looking to end it right here. 2-1. Low, and it gets through the legs of Kalen. And back to the backstop, so now the winning run is just 90 feet away.
This is dangerous. 3 balls and 1 strike. This is going to be a tough spot for Freeman, as we're going to get a look what's going on here from the umpire, but
might see if that ball hit Freeman's foot. It took a weird trajectory. It was low and in, and I thought it kicked off the leg of Kalen. They might be seeing if maybe it indeed hit Freeman, which if it did, then that would put Freeman at first and send Philippi back to second. Crucial spot and a huge call. Here in the bottom of the ninth of a 1-1 game. And they're going to say it did not hit Freeman.
That's a big call for the Mustangs. That keeps Philippi on third. Now a 3-1 count. If Freeman sees anything, and I mean anything in that zone, he might want to see if it's right down the middle, he's swinging. But at what point do you just stay composed and watch something go by to see if you can get on first?
You do have a couple of bases open. A walk isn't the worst thing. Braden Luckhart, who sits on deck, is 0 for 3 with a walk. 3-1, fouled back. Freeman wanted it. It was a pitch middle away, but just couldn't get on top of it.
He wanted it really bad. He was looking back at the ball after he fouled it off. Now 3-2, big pitch.
Full count, winning run on third. The payoff from Humphrey. Lined, foul. We'll do it again.
Another battle begins. Let's see who comes out on top with this one.
A berth in the MINK League Championship Series on the line. Another 3-2. Grounded to the right side, off the glove, fielded by Kozins. Will he beat him to the bag? He does! What a play made! Bryce Humphreys beats Darius Freeman to first base, and we're headed to extras.
Oh my goodness, the groans, everything ensuing here at Phil Welch Stadium. Bryce Humphrey, what a job. He knew off the bat where he needed to be. Freeman, one of the fastest in the MINK League. He does it, beats him out, and this is where it happens. Extra innings in the MINK League semifinal.
Stay with us here on YouTube. It's anyone's game, headed to the 10th. Mustangs and Griffins tied at 1. Bonus baseball in the 2025 MINK League semifinals between the #1 seeded St. Joseph Mustangs and the #6 seeded Nevada Griffons, who've given the Mustangs all they can handle. How we got here: it was a pitcher's duel between Ashton Nance and Kenny Jennings. Each pitcher faced their battles. Nance survived runners on the corners. In the fourth, Jennings scattered singles before finally the Mustangs broke through with a Frank Gall 2-out RBI single in the 7th, and it looked like the Mustangs might escape. Jace Johnson came in the 9th, but a leadoff hit by pitch, and then with 2 outs, Shadrack Salazar had been 0 for 14 against the Mustangs this season, came through to drive in the go-ahead run. Johnson back out for his 2nd inning of work. 7, 8, 9, led off by Rhett Hayes. Mustangs stranded the winning run at 3rd. Easton Philippi led off the bottom of the 9th with a single. And now here we are. Bonus action baseball. Winner goes home. Winner, goes to the MINK League Championship Series. Loser goes home.
I was putting up what you were putting down. So yeah, it's gonna be it's right now. Extra innings. What more could you ask for here in the semifinals?
1-1's fouled back on Hayes. 1 and 2. He has one of the 3 singles for the Griffins tonight. That came back in the 5th. Off Nance. One, two's outside. It's actually pinch hitter Sam Schmidt, number 28. Pinch hits for Hayes. 2-2's foul back. Schmidt stays alive. Comes in hitting 179. This is his 29th game. 15 hits and 84 at-bats. Does have 14 RBIs and 4 doubles. But looking to just get on base. Two from Johnson. Fouled off yet again. And the Griffin leadoff hitter here in the 10th, giving Johnson all he can handle.
And this is exactly what you want for the Griffins. It's to work up Jace Johnson's pitch count as the closer. He's not used to going super far. So if you work him out, we'll see what the Griffins can induce out of that. But it's time for Johnson just to go back to that zone.
2-2 up the first baseline, foul. The longest Johnson has gone is 2 innings, and that was all the way back on June 5th. Struck out all 6 batters and walked 1 in 2 innings against the Jeff City Renegades in a 12-2 win. But Schmidt giving himself a battle. Schmidt was 0 for 4 last night in the win. Struck out twice. 1 for 3 last time these two teams faced off with a run, an RBI, and a walk. Another 2-2. Swung on and missed. Big strikeout for Jace Johnson. Out number 1 is the leadoff hitter Schmidt.
What a pitch. He had him out front with the off speed and a big first out, getting that leadoff batter retired in Johnson. So now they're going back to the stuff. Fastball, maybe off speed here on Miller, but nice first out from Jace Johnson.
Will now be Xander Miller. He was 0 for 2 against the starter Nance and 0 for 1 against Lane Chapman. One is outside, ball on a strike. The Griffin 8-hole hitter. Outside corner, strike 2 on the fastball. Miller from Tiffin University out of Waynesville, Ohio. Seeing if he has a classic moment in his bat. Griffins still have upset and revenge written on their minds for all the drubbings that the Mustangs have given them this season. 2-2, doesn't chase the slider, count goes full.
That was a good playoff pitch. I like the slider. That's what you got Schmidt on. Now it's time to go back to the fastball. Miller hasn't been able to catch up to it. Even if you go back to a battle, I would like to see back-to-back fastballs maybe here to see if you can catch Miller on that back foot.
Full count delivery, swung on and missed. Got him to chase the slider, and it's back-to-back strikeouts by Jace Johnson to start the 10th.
And there he is. That's Jace Johnson in his pure form, catching hitters off guard. He ended up going back to the slider. Just a beautiful sequence here by Johnson, and now 2 big outs and no runners on for the Griffins. Mustangs looking bright.
Now it'll be Cal Cozens, who saved the game for the Griffins in the bottom of the 9th, robbing Darius Freeman of what would have been a walk-off single, able to field a deflective ball off the glove of Trey Burton and fire it to Bryce Humphrey to get the 3rd out. He himself was robbed of a hit his last time up in the 8th, as Trevor McCollum made a great diving grab. One, outside, 2-1. See how long Johnny Coy extends his closer and arguably his best reliever. I mean, you want to save him for the rest of the week. There are plenty of quality arms out in that right center bullpen. As that fastball clips the corner, strike 2.
Beautiful pitch. Now another 2-strike count. Would really like to see that slider again. I know I said fastball last at bat, but that slider has caught these Griffins out in front. Let's see if Johnson goes back to it.
2-2. Just off the plate, he went with the slider. Cozens not fooled. Three and 2 to the Griffin 9-hole hitter. The payoff from Johnson. Popped up, shallow right, in comes Gall. He makes the grab. 3 up, 3 down for Jace Johnson. And we're headed to the bottom of the 10th here at Phil Welch. Mustangs another chance to walk it off to the MINK League Championship Series as you're watching St. Joseph Mustangs baseball in the MINK League playoffs here on YouTube. Three, 4, 5 for the Mustangs in the bottom of the 10th with their second opportunity to win the game and send them themselves to the MINK League Championship Series. Bryce Humphrey stranded the winning run on third in the ninth. Now he'll look to do the same here in the 10th. Lukehart had been 0 for 3 with a walk versus Griffins starter Kenny Jennings. That walk was back in the 6th, and he was stranded at second base. Now ahead 2-0. His 20 walks now in the season, and his 17 for 17 stealing bases. Not the guy you want to get on. Just the second extra inning game for the Mustangs this season. Chases one upstairs, 2-2. Their first one and only one was a couple Saturdays ago against the Sedalia Bombers when they made a massive comeback and walked off the Bombers back in late June, June 28th. 3-2 now. It was an 11-10 win. Easton Philippi was the hero. Mustangs found themselves down 6-0, and then in the ninth, they found, or in the bottom of the eighth, excuse me, they found themselves down 10-2, and they scored 7 in the eighth, 1 in the ninth, and Philippi's walk-off triple in the 10th as it's a leadoff walk to Braden Lukehart.
The exact start you want. That's a beautiful start for the Mustangs, and getting Lukehart on base to start it out, that's something that the Griffins could not do. And right now, with Lukehart on with the speed he possesses, this is a danger zone for the Griffins.
Like I said, 17 for 17 is Braden Lukehart. And it's not the guy you want to be walking with these hitters coming up. Dom Felix, he had been 1 for 3 with a walk against Jennings. Takes the first pitch strike. For the Griffins, this is their first extra inning game of the season. And what a time for it to occur. Humphrey has Felix down 0-2. Your biggest game of the season. You win, you advance. You lose, you're packing up and thinking about college for the next semester.
And for some, sadly, this could be their last baseball game of their respected careers. There's a couple on the Mustangs that we know of, and two ends of the tape. You got some who are excited to go back to spring, but some, yeah, this is it.
Humphrey has Felix down 0-2. Winning run on first base. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 10th. Lukehart goes, but Felix has to foul it off. Would have been a strike if he had taken it. So we'll do it again, 0-2.
That's a good job by Felix. Right there, you could have at least, you have two options. You let a sacrifice play, let Lukehart advance, because he had a great jump. He was most likely going to be safe, but good spot.
Lukehart going again. Felix jams, shallow center. In comes Salazar. It's going to fall. A walk and now a single puts the winning run at second base with nobody out.
What a spot from Felix. Just got something off the bat that was in the zone. Just had to protect himself, and it ends up working out in his favor. Advances Lukehart into scoring position and the winning run in scoring position. Great at-bat from Mr. Dom Felix.
Second hit of the night for Felix. And now it's a guy who already has 2 hits tonight. Jack Mosh. 2 for 4. And his single in the 8th was what got Kenny Jennings out of the ball game. He'll talk with Johnny Coy and Jackson. What are you doing in this scenario? Are you laying down the sacrifice bunt and just get that winning run to third? Or are you letting Mosh swing away here and risk either like striking out, infield pop-up, or even a double play ball?
If I'm Coach Coy right now, Mosh is the type of hitter who knows where to put the ball. I feel like if there's any guy to put a ball into the outfield through a hole, it's him. We've said in the broadcast boost, why waste the best hitter to a bunt whenever it could just be time for Mosh to maybe end the game? You never know. Right here, I mean, trying to get both runners pushed over to eliminate the double play, that'd be awesome. But right now, I think Mosh, I think it's his turn to be the hero.
Mosh not squaring, swinging away, grounded off the glove of Humphrey. Cozens goes to second for one. Almost disastrous for the Griffins, but they do get one. But the winning run now stands 90 feet away.
That was really close. Cozens, ball was hit softly enough to just trail enough to allow Mosh to get over, but it brings Lukehart 90 feet away from sending the Mustangs to the MINK League Championship with one out on the board.
And who else to do it? Chris Coy, the nephew of Johnny Coy. Infield in for the Griffins. Big spot for not even the college freshman yet. Mosh will take second on the defensive indifference. His run doesn't matter. I mean, they could have gone for the double play ball. The Griffins are going to sell out to cut down Lukehart at third. The 0-1 line foul just outside of third. Now 0-2 on Coy.
Big swing from Coy. I liked getting out in front. I like the aggressiveness. Just a little bit back on that back foot. That does trail the line, and that scores. But 0-2, he's got to shorten up.
Maybe it's interesting they're not just walking Coy. Now that Mosh has taken second, at least he would set up the force out at home. They're pitching to Coy. It's right up to Creek. Lukehart not going. Creek throws across, and it's a huge out recorded by Bryce Humphrey.
Huge. Huge. Coy just missed it. It was right at Creek. If it was softer off the bat, that allows Lukehart to get a jump towards home to make it the play at home. But it was hit at that perfect speed to allow Creek to make the throw in time. So unlucky break again for the Mustangs. But now 2 outs. This game ain't over yet with JG to the plate.
Now Justin George, a little redemption for him. He grounded out to end the 8th with a runner at second base off Gage Carson. Can he come through with the winning hit? First pitch is swinging, but he fouls it straight back. George does have a hit tonight, was back in the 7th. He's also lined out a couple times to center field when Humphrey was out in center. 0-1 inside. Almost hit George. Again, a walker hit by pitch, not the worst thing in the world. There is a base open. It's just all about trying to prevent that run from third from scoring. Breaking ball taken for a strike. It froze George. And now 1-2, and Humphrey is 1 strike away from getting out of it.
And a big spot for Humphrey if he can do this. But now George, if anything's close, he's swinging, and that could work out in his favor.
The 1-2. Lined, center field. Salazar back, but it hangs up just enough. And we're headed to the 11th. Bryce Humphrey strands the winning run at third for the 2nd consecutive inning. Speechless is the crowd here at Phil Welch. Headed to the 11th, 1-1. We're tied 1-1 here in the 11th. Meanwhile, in the other MINK League playoff action, Jeff City leads the Carroll Merchants 7-0 in the top of the 7th. So if that score holds, Jeff City will move on to play Clarinda tomorrow night in Clarinda. And then the winner of that game will face the winner of this game. But what a doozy has it been here tonight. The Griffins were down to their final out. And Shadrach Salazar came through with a game-tying RBI single off the best relief pitcher in the MINK, Jace Johnson, who's back out for his 3rd inning of work, and he gets the top of the order.
And it's Burton's job to get on base early on if you're the Griffins to try and eliminate the chances of getting another shutout inning from Mr. Jace Johnson.
Burton hasn't reached base tonight, 0 for 4. He was involved in almost a play that was disastrous back in the 9th inning. While the Griffins were in the field, ball off his glove. But Cal Cousins was there to back him up and throw to Bryce Humphrey to retire Darius Freeman. He's down 0-2. 0-2. Off the end of the bat, grounded to Mosh. Gonna have to be quick with it. Underhand flip. And Burton is set down for the 5th time tonight.
Good job by Mosh. Notice it was a weak ground ball. Was off the back of his heels quick. Full force towards the ball. Just an easy flip for the first out. Big first out, retiring the leadoff batter. Keep that same energy going.
It's now Jordan Rowe. He was the guy, the first guy to face Johnson when Johnson came out of the bullpen in the 9th. And he was hit on Johnson's first pitch and then came all the way around to score as his bat ends up in the Griffins dugout. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd, some gasps. Might need to add a little pine tar. But Rowe came around to score. He advanced to second on a sacrifice bunt by Nick Kalin. And then with 2 outs, Shadrach Salazar drove him in. He's been hit twice tonight, actually. Once by Ashton Nance back in the 4th, and then in the 9th by Johnson. Sliders outside for a ball. Another slider outside. Rose also struck out and lined out to Frank Gall out in right field. Looking for his first hit here tonight. Griffins just 1 run on 3 hits. 3-1 as that pitch is upstairs.
Now Johnson's time to find the zone. Go back to the fastball. I feel like that slider, you're waiting and see if it can trail on. So go back to the fastball in the zone.
3-1's fouled back. Full count. Now the Griffin 2-hole hitter. Neither team with an extra base hit tonight. It's just been 12 singles scattered between the 2 squads. Payoff pitch from Johnson. Popped up. Will it stay in play? George gives it a look towards the dugout. Reaches out. But can't make the grab. His teammates had to get out of the way, and George almost reeled it in.
Almost. What a job by George to get over there. It looked like it popped out, but since it hit the hand, it is going to be a dead ball. But good effort by George.
Gives Jordan Rowe new life. We've seen some fantastic defensive plays from both sides here tonight. Another 3-2. Got a piece of the slider. That slider was nasty for Johnson in the 10th, getting Sam Schmidt and Xander Miller to both chase to strike out. Another full count delivery. Right back to Johnson. And he'll throw over, and it's 2 ground outs to begin the 11th.
Beautiful job. Right back to him. Johnson just had to go back to the fundamentals with the throw. Easy play, 2 outs, and they're big ones on the board for the Stangs.
2 outs, nobody on. Now for Nick Kalin. He laid down a critical sacrifice bunt in the 9th. He was 0 for 3 with a strikeout looking against the starter Ashton Nance. Only 9:19 p.m. Central Standard Time, but we're already here in the 11th. 6:30 first pitch. This game has been flying by. That one is fouled back 1-2.
Really has. Fastest game we've been at here this season at Phil Welch. But the 11th inning, crunch time, down 2 strike count for Johnson.
1-2. Popped up, but foul. We'll do it again. One, two, just outside, wanted the call. But it evens it up. 2 balls and 2 strikes here, 2 outs in the 11th.
That's a good miss from Johnson. I'd like him to go back to that outside part. It's where the Griffins have been the most uncomfortable with these swings.
2-2 looped. Mosh has a beat on it, makes the grab. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Johnson in the 11th. Griffins still with only 1 run. We're headed to the bottom of the 11th here at Phil Welch. Mustangs will have another chance to walk it off, as it'll be the bottom of the order. Easton Philippi, Trevor McCollum, and Frank Gall to get the Mustangs going. Bottom of the 11th. Neither side willing to give in, as we are deadlocked at 1 run apiece. Bryce Humphrey has gotten out of some massive jams the last 2 innings, but now has to do it yet again with Easton Philippi leading off.
Here we go, Easton Philippi. Get that leadoff spot. Big hole up the middle. Let's see him drive one right back up there.
Philippi has had his Mustangs moment this season, a walk-off RBI triple in the Mustangs' only extra inning game. And it was a game he didn't even start. He came in to pinch run, ended up knocking home the game-winning triple. He's now ahead 2 balls and no strikes. He scored the only run for the Mustangs on a walk back in the 7th. 2-0, jammed, popped to left, over is Schmidt, makes the grab.
That's a big out for Humphrey on the mound, getting Philippi off. You got McCollum at the 9 hole, so looking to work through him, but for the Mustangs, can't let that one affect you too much. Just trying to get that extra base runner on after that.
And you've got to give credit to Bryce Humphrey. Now in his 3rd inning of work, he has not been afraid to go after these Mustang hitters. He has challenged them. And so far, for St. Joe, they have not been up to the challenge. Trevor McCollum singled his first at-bat all the way back in the 3rd inning. Since then, it's been a couple strikeouts, and he's also reached on a fielder's choice. (2-0) is just low on the fastball now, 3-0. McCollum has drawn 19 walks this season. He's also stolen 12 bases. Three O's in the zone for strike one. As Jackson, for the Mustangs, it's also a question of, these are your 9 guys you're rolling out there, but you have a big bench. I mean, do you think about maybe pinch hitting in a spot, pinch running, just to get some fresh faces out there? That one lined to right, but hangs up enough for Jordan Rowe. Yet another ball hit right on the nose, but does not fall for the Stangs.
You said it best, just an unlucky break. But to go back to what you were saying, the pinch hit situation, I mean, I think it would be a good spot, especially if you do have a right-handed batter. I feel like the right-handed batters haven't been able to see them out of the box. Maybe put another lefty in there to get that righty-lefty matchup, just to give yourself another advantage. Because in extra innings, Truman, we both know you want to have every single advantage that you can get.
Here is Frank Gall. He's hit 1 homer this season. It was in the last game he played in, which was the last regular season game last Saturday. He's got 1 hit tonight, and it was the big one. RBI single in the 7th with 2 outs. And going back to the point of, pinch hitting or pinch running, you obviously don't want to look like, if you're Johnny Coy, that you're giving up on a guy. But it might just be nice to get a fresh guy out there. I mean, I know a lot of the guys on the bench haven't swung a bat tonight.
Right.
So they may be even colder, but at some point, I feel like you maybe just mix it up just to see what happens.
Right, that's what those games I feel like on Saturday and Sunday were for, just to get those freshnesses. I think that's what you got to bring into this game.
It's 1-2 inside, and it hits Frank Gall right on the shoulder, and it's a 2-out base runner for the Stangs.
Big spot there from Gall. Just took it right there, but Humphrey, that's an unlucky break. 1-2 on the leadoff man. I mean, top of the order man in Gall. That's a tough break. Now you got Freeman coming to the plate and another left-handed batter. Gall might be running here to get an extra runner on.
Darius Freeman. His line reads 0 for 5, but if he could come through, that would be all for naught. This is the guy you want up if you're a Mustangs Nation fan. He's come up twice in huge spots. He came up in the 7th with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. He lined to center. He came up in the 9th, winning run on 3rd, and grounded out on an incredible play made by Cal Cozens and Bryce Humphrey. Frank Gall is 3 for 4 stealing bases. Easton Phillippe's the only guy with a stolen base tonight for the Mustangs. As that one lined into right field, and it'll fall. Phillippe holds up. Good throw in from Rowe. But now back-to-back base runners here with 2 outs.
And here you go. Beautiful swing from Freeman. He got the one back that he wanted. After getting caught at first by Humphrey, he got it back. Now 2 outs. Winning run back on second base. It's time to come through if you're Braden Lucart.
For the 3rd consecutive inning, the Mustangs have the winning run in scoring position. This time it'll be Braden Lucart. He walked back in the 10th in his only appearance against Humphreys here tonight. 0 for 3 with a couple of walks. Breaking ball low, ball 1. Dahl with plenty of speed. He scored 9 runs. Creek keeping a good eye on him, keeping him honest. 1-0 is low again, 2-0.
Here you go for Lukart. You're up ahead. First 2 pitches, you've seen him on the inside half. Time to maybe widen that pitch. Expect something more on the middle. Up and up. Exactly where you want it. You got a big gap between right and center field. It's exactly where you want to put that ball.
Humphrey has been missing a lot down and into these lefties. Jammed. Grounded to Cousins. Fields it. Throws. We're headed to the 12th. Bryce Humphrey. Balls of steel. 3 consecutive innings with a winning run in scoring position and 3 consecutive innings. He's gotten out of it. We're not done yet here in the MINK League Championship semifinals. We'll be back after this short break. Jace Johnson's done after 3 innings. Johnny Coy turns to Max Pitt, the right-handed Pitts brother, making his 11th appearance of the summer. And a none bigger than this one. Here headed into the 12th inning, tied 1-1. He has 1 save, 0-0 in 15 innings. 4.20 ERA. He pitched last Saturday against Jeff City. Threw a shutout inning, but did walk 2 and strike out 1. And Jackson, I mean, I definitely, you'll reiterate this, but it's been the walks that have been Pitts' kryptonite.
Yeah, you know, it has. And I said that before on the booth. We just got to limit those walks. I mean, they only have 3 hits tonight, none bigger than the Salazar hit. But other than that, they really haven't put themselves in big positions. If they can limit the walks, I mean, they've been looking really good out on the mound as far as Mustangs pitching.
First pitch grounded up the middle by Bryce Humphrey. Coy has to field quickly. Strong throw. Gets Humphrey for the first out here in the 12th.
Huge play by Coy. Up the middle. Stuck to it. Shuffled the feet perfectly. Allowed him to make a perfect throw. That was on a beam line. Humphrey had the speed down. If it was just a couple of inches off, Humphrey might have been able to take that at an infield hit. But Coy, as good as he is, saves another hit in the infield.
And now, coming to the plate, the man is the reason that we're here in the 12th. Shadrach Salazar. Against the best relief pitcher in the MINK, arguably one of the best pitchers in the MINK, Jace Johnson. Down to their final out, lined a ball into right center field for a game-tying RBI single. His first hit of the season against the Mustangs. Tied this game and sent us into extras.
None bigger than it was. Off the bat, it just trailed past Lukart in center field. Haven't seen a hit like that all night from either squad. Salazar definitely shocked us up here in the booth, shocked everyone here in the stadium, and came through the biggest point in the Griffins season.
had plenty of slice to tail away from Lukart. So there's a nice curveball from Pitts. Ball and 2 strikes. Salazar also made a game-saving grab out in center in the 10th, robbing Justin George of a walk-off hit. This Griffin defense made 2 errors last night and made 7 errors in 2 games the last time they were here in Phil Welch. 0 in the errors department. They have been very good tonight defensively.
They really have. They've shocked us all. Coming here at the 6th seed in the playoffs, but they're not playing like it.
This one's popped up. Gall in. Makes the grab. Out number 2. Pitts retires Salazar.
It's a good defensive pitch from Pitts. Salazar with a big clap coming into the dugout. He knew he missed it, and he was just a little bit behind on it. And just a little bit inside on the bat, and that's why I popped it straight to Gall. But 2 big outs for Pitts out of the pen, and now a nice righty-righty matchup to end it.
Trenton Creek hit it in the air 3 times. He's also walked. First pitch is taken low. Griffins just 1 run on 3 hits. Mustangs 1 run on 10 hits and 14 men left on base. They've had opportunities. We just have yet to see that big hit looped. Mosh snags. Inning over. Max Pitts out of the bullpen. 1, 2, 3 go the Griffins. And now he'll walk back to the dugout, and these fans will once again hope that their Mustangs can walk it off in the bottom of the 12th. It'll be Felix, Mosh, and Coy to get it done for St. Joe as you're watching the MINK League Playoff semifinal round here on YouTube. Four, 5, 6. Dom Felix, Jack Mosh, and Chris Coy face Bryce Humphrey, who comes out for his 4th inning of work. And the Griffins, who came into tonight's game with the worst pitching staff in the MINK in back-to-back games with their seasons on the line, have now only given up 2 runs, in now 20 innings of baseball.
Just complete shock that everyone has seen here with the Griffins. They've came in, they've done their job. What more can you ask from them? And they're still holding on against these #1 ranked Stangs.
Felix has a couple of singles tonight. He singled in the 10th. He also walked in the 8th. 0-1 pitch runs inside, 1-1. At single in the 10th, he was then cut down at second as Jack Mosh grounded into a fielder's choice. Bryce Humphrey has faced 3 jams and has had the winning run at either third base or second base in all 3 innings. In all 3 innings, he has come through big time and gotten the final outs. Fastball load, 3-1 now. Now this is a question. If Felix walks, he's not a threat to steal. Is this where you go to a pinch runner?
I would say so, why not, but
might not need it. Popped behind foul territory. There's plenty of it here, but it lands up in the netting. And Felix stays alive as the count goes full.
back to what she said. I mean, I definitely think right now, Felix, he's been seeing the ball really well. Had a single back in the 10th. But right here, I mean, you got to get a guy who can get us something done. And I think getting some speed on the base paths might be it, especially if you can get him on second, put something in the outfield. You might want to rely on someone other than Felix to round that third base to get home.
You don't want to take this bat out of the lineup, but you have guys like Logan Miller and Truman Bodenhausen who have 11 and 12 stolen bases sitting on the bench. 3-2 popped up. Burton gives it a look into the dugout. Can't make the grab. Both first basemen have now had chances to reach into the Mustangs dugout to make grabs, and neither have been successful.
That would have been a big out for Humphrey on a full count on Felix, but another great effort into that home dugout. Now another full count to Felix.
7th pitch of the at-bat. Foul back. And another battle brewing. Humphrey versus Felix. Who will break? Who will even slightly bend? In a game like this, I feel like it's not even about breaking. I think it's just whoever maybe can make a little bit of a dent. And yet again, third straight 3-2 pitch, Felix fouls back. Pitch number 9 coming up between these two foes.
Another reason why this game's so close has been these full count battles.
Who will win this battle? Felix lines one, left field, but it hangs up yet again for Schmidt. That one seemed destined for the wall and then just fell off a cliff, and it's another loud out here for the Mustangs.
Dom Felix, I mean, he's that same swing. I feel like we saw that another time tonight, and it just is another unlucky break for him, but another great swing by Mr. Felix. I'm happy with that at-bat. He battled his way through a full count. Ended up Humphrey just getting the defensive pitch and an unlucky break for Felix.
Second time Felix is lined out. Now brings up Jack Mosh. Mosh recorded the final out in the top half of the 12th. He's 2 for 5. Both those hits just singles. Brings his total hit total to 40. Now in the year, and he joins Darius Freeman as the only 2 guys on this Mustangs roster with 40 or more hits. First year with the Stangs, originally from Kansas City, Missouri, played at Mizzou, now plays at Minnesota. And he's down 0-2, and he didn't like that one. Thought that one was inside, but it caught the corner.
Close situations like that, late games, if anything's close, you might as well try and put a bat on it because that zone's going to open up as late as we go.
0-2. No chance, 1-2. Mosh, no homers this season. Did have 1 in just his 9 at-bats with Minnesota. He only had 2 hits in those 9 at-bats, and both were extra bases, a double and a homer. Does have 3 triples and 8 doubles for the Stangs. Grounded up the middle. Cozens to his right, backhand off his back foot. What a throw, and he gets Mosh at first.
Close play. Mosh doesn't like it one bit. It was close. Cozens, I knew how he fielded it. It was going to be a tough throw. I'm going to give it to Cozens. That's a great play made. But I think Mosh could have been. I think Mosh was safe there by a step. But Cozens, what a play. It was a bang-bang situation.
Bang, bang play. Cal Cozens off his back foot, and what a stretch from Trey Burton at first. It's now 2 outs here in the home 12th. It's for Chris Coy. Coy grounded out back in the 10th against Humphrey with the winning run at third base and 1 out. He got jammed. The infield was in. It was an easy play for Trenton Creek. Coy's taking his talents to the Northwest to Nebraska, Omaha. Gets to play his home games at legendary Charles Schwab Field, home of the College World Series. University of Nebraska, Omaha, and Creighton both share that field. And for those wondering, no, they do not play home games at the same time. It's like the Chargers and Rams, you know, or the Jets and Giants.
Jets, Giants, yeah.
Rotate home. When one team's at home, the other, is on the road or not playing. Humphrey gets him to chase. And is ahead of him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Coming into the night, Mustangs. We're looking to advance to a MINK League Championship Series on their quest for their 10th MINK League title. Griffins just had upset on their mind. So far, one team has looked the part, the other not really. Griffins have come out here and looked like an entirely different team here tonight. Pitching-wise, offense still hasn't come, but because of their pitching, they have caused the Mustangs offense to go silent. So it'll be a hit by pitch from Chris Coy on 2-2. Humphrey loses it. So it's a 2-out base runner for the Mustangs.
And that's all you need. 2 outs. See if they can get something into the outfield, allow Coy to maybe stretch it to third. Put yourself 90 feet away with 2 outs. It's up to Justin George now to do that. He's the guy. I think if he gets something on the bat, he's the guy to put something out.
George's line tonight reads 1 for 5, but he has had 3 balls absolutely smoked off the bat, all to center, and all have been caught. I mean, if any of those are just in the gap, those are all doubles, maybe even triples. Winning run is at first base in Chris Coy. Coy is 14 for 15 this season, swiping bags. And that's another thing. We have not seen the Mustangs attempt many stolen bases tonight. They've been kind of just content to try and hit away their problems.
I want to agree with that as well. I would have said from the jump in this game that the Mustangs probably should be a little bit more aggressive on the base paths. Now, I get it. It's the playoffs. You don't want to risk anything if you have someone on base, if you have risk getting caught. But you got speed. I'd say why not, especially in this type of ball game. You've been tied for ever so long. Why not try and steal here, put another runner in scoring position? I feel like that's where the Mustangs have something over the edge over every other MINK League opponent. They know how to get it done on the base paths.
1-1 to George. Coy does go. Throw down from Kalen on the money. And Chris Coy is out. That's how the 12th inning comes to a close. Chris Coy is caught stealing. And we're headed to the 13th. More baseball here from Phil Welch right after this break. Gage Busby takes over for Max Pitts here in the 13th inning. Busby making appearance number 13 of the summer. Northwest Missouri State Committee. And he comes in 2-2, 18 innings at 239 opponent batting average, but it's those 15 walks. And like Pitts, when he's been hurt, it's been the walks, Jackson.
It has. Busby can really lose himself with those balls, but it's really going to have to be him to find that zone. And, you know, he's really going to have to find it early on in these batters. You limit those walks, and they've done a good job with that. They've really gotten in and out of these innings, but I feel like it's got to translate to those bats. And I feel like if Busby can go 1, 2, 3 here, it could potentially get a good setup. But he's got to limit those walks. You're right.
Busby, last appearance was against these Nevada Griffons. It was back Tuesday, July 16th. He pitched a scoreless inning, did give up 2 hits, but got the save. He's had 3 straight scoreless appearances. Before that, 2/3 of an inning at Jeff City. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, did strike out 1, and then he threw a shutout inning against the Kansas City Monarchs on July 10th. He starts Sam Schmidt off with a strike. Schmidt came on in replace of Rhett Hayes after Bryce Humphrey went to the mound, and he struck out in his only at-bat in the 10th. Now Schmidt quickly is behind 0-2 to Busby.
I love it. I love this 2 straight fastballs in the zone. Getting after Schmidt on that back foot. Why not get him down 0-2? Getting that first out could be huge, keeping those runners off the base paths as well. So I love this confidence from Busby to start it.
The only inning that the Mustangs have not gotten the leadoff man out was the inning the Griffins scored. In the 9th, a leadoff hit by pitch was the run. All other 12 innings, all other 11 innings, up to this point, the Mustangs pitching has gotten the leadoff out.
Wow. That's a stat.
Another 0-2. Chases the slider. Big punch out for Busby. There is the leadoff out.
And a big one. Gets Schmidt out. You're looking at that middle half. You're into the bottom half of the lineup now, and now with 1 out, Busby. Great confidence. 0-2, then the 1-2, and then the slider got him. What a sequence.
Brings up the third baseman, Xander Miller. Just his 5th at-bat coming here in the 13th inning. 0 for 4 in his previous 4 with a couple of Ks. He is one of the 4 guys on this roster with a home run. And for some reason, we have seen opponents hit more long balls here at Phil Welch than the home faithful.
Very weird, but it is true.
Slider out and chased 1-2. Slider has been on point for Busby coming out of the pen.
The break on it is incredible. It breaks so much far out that it starts in the zone and ends up on the complete other side of the continent.
1-2. Fastball blown by him. Get out of the way, the Busby locomotive. 2 strikeouts to begin his outing.
Come on. Gage Busby coming in a big spot here in the top of the 13th, keeping it at 1 run. You get 2 gone with strikeouts, not even having to rely on the defense. That's a huge, huge look out of the bullpen from Busby. He's continuing to show in this late half of the season that he's starting to come through for these Mustangs.
Now 9-hole hitting Cal Cozens, who hasn't been able to get it done with the bat, but has made some incredible game-saving plays in the field. He pops it up on the first pitch. Philippi towards the net. And it just trails away from him. And it's an unfortunate, just a foul ball strike.
There's another one was good effort by the inside half of the infield going towards that home half dugout foul territory side. Tough play to make, tough one to look up in the air and try and draw near to, but a good first pitch strike for Busby nonetheless.
Cozens was 0 for 2 against the starter Nance, 0 for 1 against Lane Chapman, and 0 for 1 against Jace Johnson. Slider catches the corner, 0-2.
Why not go back to the slider? See if you can start it a little bit more in the zone and have it break more out. Would love to see Cozens up on the front foot.
0-2, fastball at the knees. But a little below the knees. for a ball. Kind of that same pitch sequence that Busby got Miller. Slider away, fastball right by him. Here's the slider! Called strike 3, and it's a 1-2-3 13th inning for Gage Busby. 3 punch-outs in the inning, and he throws up yet another 0. But the big all-important question, what do the Mustangs have? Can they finally break through and win it? We're headed to the bottom of the 13th here at Phil Welch. 1-1. Still tied. Bottom of the 13th, number 1 seeded St. Joseph Mustangs and the number 6 seeded Nevada Griffons in the MINK League playoffs semifinal round. Winner moves on to the MINK League Championship Series. Loser has to watch from their couch. The Mustangs have won an unprecedented 9 MINK League titles, are on the quest for 10. Nevada sitting at 0 MINK League titles, and it's Justin George to get the Stangs started here in the bottom half of the 13th. He was at bat when Chris Coy was caught stealing to end the 12th. And he's still facing Bryce Humphrey.
It's time to see what these Mustangs are made of.
George, 1 for 5. Like we said last inning when he was up, 3 loud outs have all gone for line outs to center. Unlucky night at the plate for George. Pitches upstairs, 2-1. George is another guy, if he gets on, might think about pinch running if you're Johnny Coy, but again, it takes an all-important bat out of the lineup. Fouls that one off him. 2-2.
It does take the all-important, batter out of the lineup. But again, I feel like it's just the base paths hasn't been there, and I feel like that's what your difference is in this game, is trying to get runners and stacking them. And I think trying to get someone who's confident in stealing bases is one thing as well. I want to see maybe Logan Miller. You mentioned that last time up. I would like to see him maybe.
2-2 to George. Upstairs. Full count. Meanwhile, update from Jeff City and Carroll. Jeff City has run-ruled Carroll 10-0. So the Renegades move on. They will play Clarinda tomorrow night in Clarinda. And the winner faces the winner of this matchup in the MINK League Championship Series. And it's a leadoff walk for Justin George.
Beautiful, beautiful. Worked himself back up to the walk. And it looks like there is going to be a pinch runner coming in for Justin George.
And it does look like it is Logan Miller, as out of the Griffin dugout comes Aaron Hassel. Is this the last we see of Bryce Humphrey? He's given the Griffins everything, but the question is how many pitchers they have left. This also might be a strategy talk. But Justin George works the leadoff walk. Logan Miller now on to pinch run.
What a man to do it. I think Miller right here, you're putting him on for one reason and one reason only, and that's to try and steal second base. Get a 0-out, runner in scoring position threat. It's exactly what you want out of Miller. No outs, runner on second, and potentially working him over to third base with 1 out, or no outs. You never know what could be drawn up, but I think having Miller on here is a great decision from Johnny Coy.
Meeting over from Hassel. Humphrey squatted behind the mound. Miller is 11 for 12 this season. But again, he's coming back. Still a couple weeks removed from a hamstring injury that hindered him for a week. And he injured or re-aggravated that hamstring injury on a play where he was trying to overuse himself, beating out a ground ball. Funny enough, happened in that Sedalia game, the only extra inning game that the Mustangs have played in.
Big spot. Here's the man who did it. I think it's another spot. Another runner on first. Exactly what you said. It's the exact same scenario.
Philippi squares. Miller goes. Throw down from Kalen, not in time. The fake bunt steal works to perfection.
Beautiful. Exactly what he was asked to do out of the dugout was just go, go, go whenever you can. Great fake bunt from Philippi. It drawed everyone off. It even allowed Kalen to have a little bit less of a reaction time. So beautiful. Now no outs with the winning run in scoring position.
Can't say I know my way around the fake bunt, and that was definitely executed to perfection. Miller now standing at second base with nobody out. Change up in for a strike. Mustangs have had the winning run on in every inning since the 9th. It's even gotten to third a couple times, but they have not driven him home. 1-1 almost takes the feet out of Philippi. 2-1. Love a strikeout here if you're Humphrey. Strikeout or an infield pop-up or even a shallow fly ball. Just nothing that advances Miller to third.
Can't afford that.
2-1 on a hop to Cozens. He fields it again. Runner does advance to third, but an out is made, and now Logan Miller stands 90 feet away.
Great job putting on the opposite side of the field by Philippi. That brings Miller 90 feet away from walking off this ball game. 90 feet away that the Mustangs can smell another MINK League championship appearance, and it's up to Trevor McCollum, the 9-hole man, to do the job. It's another mound visit coming out for the Griffs.
And this will mean a pitching change. So McCollum due up, and they're just going to walk McCollum, it seems like. But a pitching change is coming. We'll step aside for a short break and be back with you. Mustangs winning run 90 feet away in the bottom of the 13th. Trey Burton comes on for the most important relief appearance of his life. Trevor McCollum was intentionally walked, so runners will be at first and third with one out. Double play is in order. Burton making his 8th appearance. Last time he pitched, July 11th against the Mustangs. Just pitched the 3rd of an inning, gave up 2 runs on 2 walks, a hit and a strikeout. But now he's tasked with getting the 2 most important outs in the Griffins season.
And it's Frank Gall to do it, leadoff man of this tonight's game, and he's been hitting the ball so well, so if there's a man I trust, it's him.
He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Infield in. McCollum moves up to second on the defensive indifference. His run doesn't matter. Coach Aaron Hassel wanted the lefty-lefty. Actually got a string of 3 lefty-lefties in a row. Gall, Freeman, and Lukehart. And Gall pops it up, but it gets out of play.
That was a big swing. He was definitely wanting to take that into the outfield. I could tell by the way he was sitting back on that back foot, and he just missed it. I think Gall down 0-2. If anything comes in, the way he hits the ball, I mean, if he hits it hard, it's getting past this infield.
0-2 now to the Mustangs leadoff man. Outside. Missed badly. Gall has the only run-scoring hit for the Mustangs, a RBI single all the way back in the 7th inning. Infield in for Nevada. It's fouled back. Stays 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now in a 2-strike count, Gall's going to go back, re-up on that pine tar, get a better grip because I know what he's doing. He sees something, he is ripping that thing. Wants to get all that grip in the world here on 2 strikes.
Gall's been given his time. He digs back in. Burton's still very much in the driver's seat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Winning run at third. Fouled back again. 3 straight pitches. Frank Gall has fouled back to stay alive in this at-bat.
That one was a just let me stay up here, 1 more pitch type of swing. Was up and away, but Gall is just right now thinking, I just want to be the guy to end it here. And that was just the swing to put him up for 1 more pitch.
We'll do it again. Burton and Gall. And again, Gall fouls it off. Seems like Gall's just swinging at everything. He doesn't really care. As long as it's not in the dirt, he's just hoping that something can go right.
Way he's swinging, that back shoulder, if you notice, it's back. He wants to pop it out to the outfield. He's lowering that thing, and he's ready to load up and go.
Infield is in, and the outfield, I would say, is about halfway. Breaking ball called, strike 3. Burton hadn't thrown it, and what a time. Gets Frank Gall looking for out number 2.
Sneaked it. Burton's a sneaky, sneaky man. Getting the off speed on Gall, threw him all fastballs. And at the perfect time, it found that zone. Beautiful pitch by Burton. Now 2 outs in the biggest at-bat of the season.
Not out of the water yet. Darius Freeman. He singled his last time up. He's had 2 at-bats with the insurance or winning run on and has yet to come through. Huge spot. Logan Miller on third. McCollum on second. Freeman chops it. Going to be a tough play. Burton fields, spins, throws, and in time to... No, he's saved! Unbelievable! He's called safe. Nevada can't believe it, and the Mustangs win!
Oh my goodness! The Griffins can't believe it. What a job. Freeman just put it in play, and it works out once again for the Mustangs. In the 13th inning, the Mustangs advance in a crazy dramatic way.
The Griffins are stunned. Speechless. Burton thought he had him. Freeman beats it out. And saddle up, Mustangs Nation. Your Mustangs get it done in the 13th inning and are headed to the MINK League Championship Series with a chance to claim championship number 10.
Wow. Just wow. The Mustangs do it. They got the job done. Didn't matter how ugly it looked, Truman. The boys always come through, and they find themselves back in the MINK League Championship Series. In hindsight, looking for MINK League Championship number 10 and trying to do it in back-to-back summers. This team, something is special. They stuck around. They kept pitching. They kept hitting. Even if it didn't go their way, they still stayed in it. At some point, the boys could have said, this is it. But they never said that. They never dropped it. They never lost a beat. And it ended up getting them the way they wanted it to do it. 2 runs, 11 hits. What a ball game.
Unreal. The Mustangs, they didn't have it on offense. Just 2 runs, 11 hits, and about 20 men left on base. But Darius Freeman, the guy everyone loves, the fan favorite, comes through in the biggest of situations, keeps the season alive. But Ashton Nance, I mean, this pitching staff for the Mustangs. Nance, 7 shutout innings. Lane Chapman, a shutout inning. Jace Johnson did give up in the run of the night, but 3 innings out of the bullpen. And then Max Pitts and Gage Busby, guys who had been up and down, but were absolutely phenomenal in their 1 innings tonight. Get it done pitching-wise. And that'll do it. Folks are headed for the gates. And the Mustangs, they will travel to the winner of Jeff City or Clarinda tomorrow night, and we will be live. Game 1 of the MINK League Championship Series. We will either be live from Clarinda, Iowa, or we will be live from our wonderful state's capital, Jefferson City, Missouri. But that'll do it here tonight from Phil Welch. Mustangs 2, Griffins 1. Mustangs are headed to the MINK League Championship Series. Griffins are headed home in a wild 13-inning thriller. For my partner, Jackson Phelps, I have been Truman Griesel. We thank all you viewers for sticking with us through this game. And if you enjoyed this, plenty of other content on YouTube where this stream will be archived. YouTube.com or the YouTube app, St. Joseph Mustangs YouTube. Click under videos, Reading with Rowley, Mic'd Up Players, Andrew Clark Player Vlog, Kai Turner Player Vlog, Filling Time with Phil Welch, Game Highlights. And then if you click under Live or go to Playlists and Mustangs 2025, you can rewatch entire games from this season. But we say so long from Phil Welch, your Mustangs season